Oh, sorry, we're a little bit late. I'm not sure what happened to my camera when I was in California, but it was probably cat related. But Matt just had to do some emergency super glue operation, so hopefully it is working good now. I don't know if it starts like showing the ceiling or like weird stuff on my walls or something. Let us know. I can't really see the TV screen from here, but Matt will probably let us know. Because I think he can see that, and he's talking to you guys. So, hello,
Hey
and
all, happy
happy
St. Patrick's
St.
Day.
Patrick's Day.
Is everybody wearing green?
I always am because my apron is green. I do got like my shirt kind of green under it. So Matt's got an Incredible Hulk shirt on, so that's definitely green.
Yes, not the Bruce Banner, but the Hulk.
Yeah.
So he is in green form.
Do they make a lot of shirts that just have Bruce Banner on them, or?
You know they should have more.
Oh,
He's actually an amazing person.
oh. Yeah, he can do some incredible things. And the painting I'm working on is definitely green. Show us off a bit if you're just joining us. This is the one I've been trying to work on just here at Twitch, which is unusual for me because usually I kind of work on stuff during the week, but this one I've only been working on for Twitch. So if you are just joining us for the first time today, you can go back and look at my Twitch video archives or look at YouTube. I'm just Jasmine Beckett up there because my name's too long. Beckett has one T. And you can see how I started this one and how she's come along so far. She's getting quite close to being finished. Main things, I think last time, would have been 2 weeks ago because we've been in California for the past week for my Disney thing, but I think last time we did her hair and finished up some of her makeup. I probably worked on her maybe for a half hour after that same evening, so I haven't really done much since the last time you guys have been watching us. So I'm kind of doing the Bob Ross thing where you can see her start to finish. Also halfway, well, kind of halfway, we'll see how much I get done and what's a good stopping point, but I will be working on the pin design that I've sketched out for the April pin of the month. You know how I'm old-fashioned about things, and I will have a sketch and I will paint it in and choose the enamels and all that, and that will be kind of a surprise thing a bit later. And that's a very different than the sort of painting I do for my finished paintings because it's production art. That's got to be cell shaded to solid colors, etc. But very excited to do that too. So it's good to see you guys here. We missed you last weekend because we were 3,500 miles away in California.
Yes.
We saw some of you
away.
guys there, but we had a very, very, very good visit. We had a lot of fun out there. Saw, my goodness, quite a few of you Twitch folks out there. We saw Nikki and Jackie and Buddy and Maria and family, and actually quite a few. I sometimes I don't always know when I see somebody in person. I'm like, oh, I know you, and I didn't know that was your Twitch name. Matt sometimes does because he actually
Sometimes.
sees the channel. But sometimes your name is like not your name up here at Twitch, so I don't always know. So I always appreciate it when you do come and see me in person. You're like, hi, I'm so and so on Twitch. I'm like, oh, good to see you in real life. Usually I just hear your words via Matt. I'm not changing a lot here right now. I'm just kind of touching up a few areas that I kind of let dry before I blended them last time. So not changing too much. I think I put one more layer of yellow on her hair since last time. But this is, we're just seeing this for the first time, or it's the first time on my Twitch and you haven't seen the other episodes. This is Absinthe Reflections. It's a painting that we will be debuting at Planet Comic Con / Spectrum Fantastic Art Live in, golly, just like 2 weeks from now, roughly? Less than 2 weeks. It will be on March 29th, 30th, and 31st at Kansas City at Bartle Hall. And that's a convention I will be at, and we'll have this painting here. We'll also have the painting that I was working on earlier this year up here at Twitch, the Devil painting for the 78 Tarot deck. That one will be there in person too. That one I don't think has sold definitively. This one we're considering sold because somebody here at Twitch actually has purchased her, but in case for some reason that doesn't work out, we are always taking backup names, so you can always email me and say, hey, if that didn't work out, even until it's like hanging on their wall, we always take backup names because the world is crazy and you never know what's going to happen. And these are, of course, acrylic paints, and this is a piece of masonite panel. That is most of what my artwork is. Funny, I missed like one broadcast from being out of town, and now I have to feel like I've got to explain what I'm doing again, but some of you might be here for the first time. So during this broadcast, I'm hoping to get probably more of her dress finished, and also working on the glass and the little absinthe fountain that's over here. Probably a bit more work on the curtain. And then after that, I've probably got maybe 10-15 hours left, and that will be the finished painting. And I will definitely show you guys how she turned out. I'll no doubt be finished with her before next weekend, hopefully, because I've got to ship her to Kansas, so should be done by then. A little bit of that green I was just using. I'm putting it in her hair. Since her face and her hair are mostly done, what I'm doing now is I'm taking some of the green I used for the background, and I'm just putting little highlights throughout the different components of the painting, like on her hair, on the underside of her lip, on the side of her arm, so that will help tie it together so she doesn't look like she's just some weird face floating in the distance. A little bit on the underside of her nose. Yeah. Lovely, lovely painting. I think too. No, I already had the green stripes in her hair last time.
Moobot's being a monkey and not letting people into the raffle.
Why? Did he not?
I don't know. Everything
right?
looks perfect on this end.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is that why you haven't said anything yet?
Kind of. I turn it off and on.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'll do is I'll log in and out, and I'll just keep chatting along with everyone.
Okay.
And that'll probably fix it.
Okay.
So I'll do that, and
that's an IT crowd sort of fix. Yeah.
In the meantime,
remember Mercury is in retrograde right now. So much like last time, how we had to restart our broadcast, I think for the first time ever, because it was the night that Mercury was going into retrograde. Yeah, we've had a lot of communications issues here, like with just about everything, from cameras not working to emails disappearing to internet not working, cell phones not working. Just about everything has not been working lately. But that's what Mercury does when it goes backwards.
It certainly does.
Yes. There's a website you can go to. I think it's called ismercuryinretrograde.com, and if you go there, it's like, yes, it just started. That's what's causing your problems, or it's like, no, something else is ruining your day. It's not your horoscope, but I don't follow my horoscope very closely or anything. But Mercury in retrograde does seem to affect things. A bit of that navy blue, and putting that in her hair here, because her hair is theoretically dark. But since she's around very bright things, like she's got bright green over here, and she's got like this burgundy curtain thing over here, it's kind of making her hair kind of reddish over here, and her hair kind of greenish over there, but with some obvious green stripes in it. All right, I'm taking some blue-green.
I'm logging in and logging out, folks, and I will be. I'm here. I'm still here.
You're still here. You're not going away, honey? Okay.
I'm not going away. Don't worry.
Okay. I heard a magic noise. I don't know what it was, but it was a magic noise.
I just need to log back in and out, and we'll see if that fixes it. If not, we have other options. Don't worry, guys.
Oh yeah, we can always like roll dice or do something. We can always use the random number generator software thingy that we use for like when we're on Patreon and stuff. So
all right,
don't worry, because we got cool prizes. Since we missed a week from being in California, we wanted to make sure we had extra good stuff this time. Not necessarily themed. If I had been here this past week, I would have probably made something special like St. Patrick's Day, but didn't really, because we have been in a lot of cars and a lot of airplanes.
A lot of cars.
Yes. And we have a lot of cars sitting around lately. I know that's kind of what you do in Los Angeles.
Well, I wanted to experience Uber a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that was kind of fun.
Yeah, we Ubered a lot, which I think is kind of the way to do Los Angeles, really. It's then you can catch up on work and look at the internet and stuff in the car while people drive you around. Ain't bad. Man, I think it was literally 3 hours, wasn't it, Maddie, to get to the airport and we were staying like 20.
It was insane.
We were
I
20.
I almost don't want to talk about it.
Like 20. We were out in Malibu, so it's like 20, 25 miles away from the airport, and it was middle of a weekday. It wasn't rush hour. It wasn't even lunchtime. It was just middle of the day. And,
well, I think they were filming a movie.
Maybe they were, but
I know that sounds.
You can't block PCH Highway for that long. I don't know what they were doing, but it was just blocked, and it's like, why did it take 3 hours to go 20 miles? But I think that's the slogan there in Los Angeles. No, I like going to Los Angeles actually quite a bit, but we had a very good visit. Is that working there, love?
Let me check.
Okay.
All right, just created a new raffle.
No. If anybody is new here, it does not usually take us this long to get started.
No, not at all.
Except the once or twice a year when Mercury is in retrograde. I'm going to take some of that same kind of grayish burgundy color that I've been putting in her hair and use that for the parts of the curtain that are closest to the green part of the window. Does that seem to be helping it?
Moobot says enter giveaway by typing !raffle. And then when we type exclamation...
Is it working?
No,
Sorry,
it's not.
I tried to ask a question.
No, it's not.
Could you not hear me?
Not working currently.
And you're sure it's not anything you've done incorrectly?
No.
You're not
because
sure?
Because Moobot is telling people to join, but then not working. I'm not sure what's going on. That's okay. We'll do random. I'll just look at folks in the room.
Yeah, well, just if you're in, you'll have to be in the room at the time then. So
you'll be at the room in the time, and we will just
I'll be every hour on the hour, and Matt will use the
not
random
a problem.
number.
I still have my.
So there you go.
Right.
So no favoring Moobot this time. We'll figure out what happened later, I guess.
No, I doubt it. We'll just do our best.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask.
We can talk about
People are saying Moobot's at the pub.
Probably. It is St. Patrick's Day, isn't it? Yeah, we're celebrating by painting here.
We saw a lot of friends in California.
Yes, we did. Quite a few of the people here.
Yes. And then we also attended a fun show.
Yes, we did. I don't often get to go to other art shows that aren't mine, so it was a lot of fun. If you are in California, I recommend it. I think it's going to be up for like a month or so, but we went to the Dark Art Emporium is the name of it, and it's in Long Beach. Do you have a link to it, Maddie? Are you able to post those things? Or?
I could find one.
It should be in the episode guide.
I got it right here.
Okay, yay! But yeah, if you check out this link, you'll see the show that we went to. Of course, some of you guys were probably there too. My friend David Van Gogh's art show, Paradiso Fall, is there, I think, for a month. And we went there Saturday night after I did my Disney California Adventure show and my Downtown Disney show, like in the morning and then in the afternoon. And then we went out to Long Beach and went to the Dark Art Emporium just for fun. Bought some paintings too. So, but we saw quite a few people there, and that was lovely. The people who run that gallery are awesome, and we got to see the wonderful David and his wife Lanny.
That's David Van Gogh.
David Van Gogh. Spelled almost like Van Gogh, but like with a
very, very similar.
Suspiciously similar. Yeah. But no, that was a blast. That's when I did my early celebrating. That's why I'm not celebrating here on St. Patrick's Day. But we don't usually get a night off like that, so that was a lot of fun. And I hadn't been to Long Beach before, but my friend Julie.
That's kind of a neat place, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of a neat neighborhood. I had been there, but I was like a kid, so I didn't remember it very good. And it's a nifty little place. We went to a really cool record store that's there. Fingerprints it was huge. It was like 2 stories high. And like vinyl records, like I didn't hardly know that there were still places like that around, and that was really neat to see. Got some records, and the folks who run the Dark Art Emporium, there are two Jeremys that we met, Jeremy, and one of them also works over or owns or something the Fourth Horseman, which is a pizza restaurant that is right there in Long Beach.
Jasmine.
And they do vegan pizzas and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Will the skirt be the same color as the bodice?
It's going to be the same colors, but I'm going to kind of switch the way they're applied. If you look at the bodice, it's kind of gold with black accents. What I'm going to do with the big part of her skirt is going to make it kind of that dark with gold accents. So it will match in color, but it will be kind of the photo negative of it. With the exception of the little area that's kind of her outer skirt here. She's got kind of the whole Louis the 14th sort of, or 15th, I guess, this kind of based off of the portrait of his wife, sort of pointy bodice with a very broad sort of skirt, and it's got an overskirt, and she's got a little capelet and stuff like that. So I'm going to use those same basic colors. I'll have some reflections of the red in there too, but instead of being gold with black, it will be black with gold. That is the plan, at least. Sometimes I change my mind partway through working on something. And then partway through the broadcast, I'll switch over and start working on my pin design because I need to finish up my design for the April pin of the month because it's still March now, but I want to make sure we get it done in time. We're running about a week late on some things. Usually I like the March pin of the month. You guys might remember I painted the Voodoo, actually I've got her, Voodoo and Violet. She isn't up on the website yet. You Patreon people have already had yours mailed out. For Voodoo and Violet, but usually we put them up on the website at the 15th of the month-ish, but we didn't have our regular computers and stuff while we're in California, and it usually takes us a few days to get this up, so she'll probably pop up tomorrow at strangeling.com, but she will be up there, so it might be a little bit later, maybe just a few days, maybe a week, when we eventually send out the April pin of the month, since we are on a bit of a delay. Or it might come in time. It probably will come in time. I'm just giving you a heads up. And we will talk about her a bit more, but in the meantime, I can show you all what the...
Karen says it sounds like I have a cold.
Matt does have a cold.
I do have a cold,
Matt's
had
a terrible cold for about 3 days now.
Yes.
We weren't sure if anybody would notice.
I was hoping it would clear up.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
He's feeling... the past 2 days, he's just been zonked out on the couch, basically. So he's... doing much better now. For a while, I was like, "Oh gosh, am I gonna have to do Twitch myself? I can't see the screen or the chat room or anything." So I don't know what I'd do. I'd just probably talk at you guys and not even know if it's a server error like 5 minutes into it or something. But yeah, Matt's got a cold.
Angel commanded me to feel better.
Oh yeah, Maddie, what's wrong with you?
Does Jasmine still have her Fairies with Strawberries girl for sale?
Fairies with Strawberries. Well, not the painting.
I bought her when I was 14 back in 2004 and lost her in a home fire last week.
Oh, that's awful. Oh golly. Well, I wouldn't have the original anymore because I don't really have any of those. But I have high resolution scans of pretty much everything I've painted for the past 20 some years. So I can probably at least find a print. If you can email us, can you put my email address
I'd be happy to.
Yeah, JasmineToad@AOL.com. At the very least, we can send you a print just as a gift or something to replace that, because that is awful.
Sorry about that.
I've been through a house fire before, and that's one of the worst things that you can go through. It's pretty awful. So yeah, I will find it. It might be scanned in on some horrible CD that I have like in a storage unit or something, but I will find it. It might take me a little while, but I will find it. It's from 2002. Is that what you said?
2004.
2004. Okay. Yeah, I should definitely have a scan with it somewhere. Do you remember if the actual title was Fairy with Strawberries? Was it F-A-E-R-I-E?
Do you remember the
strawberries?
title?
Or Strawberry Fae? Because I've painted a couple of fairies with strawberries. I eat a lot of strawberries, so yeah, it comes up a lot.
What was that sound? Is that rain?
I think it's a helicopter. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear it. Gosh darn it, they're going to find out where I live eventually. Yeah, it's a helicopter. We're not far from a hospital, so sometimes we get, like, the hospital helicopters going over. But wow, yeah, it rattled the glass and stuff in here. It wasn't an earthquake. Did she have the original painting, or was it? It probably was the.
I think
original.
it was a print.
Was it a print? Okay. Well. Okay. Well, I should be able to find a scan of that, and we'll find a replacement for you. Because it's not one that would be on my website still. On my website, I usually keep around roughly 1,000, between 1,000 and 1,100 different images on my website at any one time. Because I paint a lot, obviously, and I've been doing it for a long time. So if I have more than 1,000, it gets really hard to keep track of the paperwork and like inventory and that sort of thing. So sometimes if it's been 20 years and I don't still have the same pictures, but I'll keep a few old favorites and switch them out for new ones, etc. But I should have, I will find a scan for it. I will do my best.
Moobot is doing all of its other jobs.
Okay.
Just not raffle for some reason.
Are you sure there wasn't an update or a message
Not
or
that I
a
saw.
pop-up or anything?
No, everything looks normal.
How do you know it's not doing its thing?
How do I know what?
That it's not doing its thing.
Because it doesn't send people notifications.
Oh, did people tell you that it's... I'm asking
Yes.
how you, Meowdy Cat.
Yes, and also I see 0 entrants in there currently.
Okay.
Kitten says she loves strawberries.
I love strawberries. Lately, I've been eating a lot of blackberries and raspberries, but I always have a bowl of berries for breakfast every morning.
We're currently at 96 viewers.
Oh, wow!
Thanks for coming out on
I was surprised. I didn't know if anybody's going to show up because it's a holiday and everything.
And I apologize for having a bit of a cold.
Yeah, Matt's all snuffly, so he'll try to turn his head if he coughs or sneezes at you.
I'm doing my best.
It's not contagious when you're on the internet, so...
Good point.
And he's definitely doing better than he was. So.
I am. The
Caught it at an
last
airport
2 days I was awful.
Something. Yeah,
Awful.
I couldn't even hardly talk to him. Then he was like taking NyQuil and didn't know what he was saying. So he was a bit out of it. That's probably why. I know. I was gonna say we have our St. Patrick's Day, and it's like I don't know if anybody's gonna show up. And a few weeks before we did this during the Super Bowl, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Like I didn't know it was a Super Bowl.
Hey, Jasmine.
People still showed up, but yeah.
Did I print out that Poissons Volants Les Bassins des Carpes? And I probably butchered the...
I know which one.
That is our sale print of the week.
Yes, I need to show you guys that.
And it ends tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna start telling you. Somebody requested, because not everybody looks at Facebook and everything. That we always have a sale print of the week. We've been doing this for years up at strangelane.com, and we usually do it from Monday through Sunday. And so unless you look at Facebook or actually go to my website, you don't know what it is. So I was going to start showing you as like a thing here at Twitch what the sale print of the week is. And this is one you can get the signed ones for $9.99. And we do ship worldwide. Shipping is going to be on top of that. But this is the one that's the sale print of the week. But since it ends on the end of Sunday and starts at the beginning of Monday, this will always be the last day because we usually broadcast on Sundays. But she's one of my flying fish friends here. I'll show up there. I don't know which way it shows better. Right there. She's the one that's got little carp, and the carp, they're little goldfish basically. They're like koi that you've seen. And she's got a little fish pond. It's from, when did I paint her? About 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I have a whole series of these kind of Rococo portraits of girls with fancy dresses and neat hair, and they're fishes that have butterfly wings. I've always thought it was kind of interesting how the wings of fish, or the fins of fish, are very much like the wings of butterflies. They kind of move through water, which is a fluid, as opposed to air, which is a fluid. And you'll see a lot of these in my Poisson Volant series. And I don't know how many I painted in the series, but this is the one that's the sale print of the week. My sister Amber chooses the sale print of the week, and this is the one that is this week. Amber is off at NakaCon still, probably, in Kansas City, running my booth there. That's not a show I've ever done myself, but my sister Amber and her family set up my booth with my artwork and everything, and that's in Kansas City at the Overland Park Convention Center, and I think it's the last day for it today. It's a 3-day convention, so it started Friday, and it's going right now. But we are, of course, getting ready to go to Kansas City ourselves for more conventions, because we will be there at the end of the month, 2 weeks from this weekend, and
that should be a lot of fun.
Not next weekend, but the weekend after, and that's when this painting will be there, assuming I finish her. It might look like this painting is taking me longer than my usual paintings do, but that's because I've only been working on her at Twitch. Usually, when I work on a painting, I'll do part of it at Twitch, and then I'll finish it the next few days and start a new painting by the next time on Twitch. But this is one I'm specifically, due to popular request, people want to see something from start to finish. So I don't know if you'll get to see her finished all the way, though, because I really need to get her finished probably in the next 2 days so I can varnish her. Matt can frame her, and we can ship her to Kansas City for Planet Comic Con / Spectrum Fantastic Art Live. That is a long name for a convention. But
Lady Silent Song says, has next week's print been chosen?
Probably, but I don't know yet. Basically, I got an email from Amber, my sister. Again, she's currently working a convention, so I don't know if she'll email me like until early tomorrow, and she'll tell me what the Strangeling print of the week is, and we will find out. But since we decide those on Monday and we typically do Twitch on Sundays, it's usually a, hey, last chance to get it. So if you're watching this live, you can still get her at the sale price. But if you're watching this already recorded, you can still buy her, but she's going to be the regular price. Regular price, what is it? $15.99, $16, something like that?
I think
so. So when they're on sale for
$15.99.
$15.99. Okay, so when they're on sale for $9.99, it's a worth waiting for if it's one that you really like. And not only that, but also we have the canvases, the stretched canvases. Those ones I think are 12 by 16, the open edition ones. They're not the hand embellished ones because those would have already been sold out years ago. But they come with a little signed certificate on the back, a little parchment thing, and they're ready to hang, pop on the wall. And those are only $90 instead of $125. So that's definitely another thing worth waiting for when you see the sale print of the week. Because we always do the canvases and the paper prints. They've also been adding the bigger paper prints. I don't know if anybody's gotten our 16 by 20 prints yet. They're as opposed to the 12 by 16 prints, and they are significantly larger. It doesn't sound like 12 by 16 would be that much smaller than a 16 by 20, but when you see them in person, it's like, wow, that is a piece of artwork. It's like bigger than the Mona Lisa.
Kitten says we need more glasses ones, and she was talking to Ricky.
Need more
ones with glasses.
Oh, wearing glasses. Oh, yeah. So that was Ricky's one. That of course that was a custom one. So that was her specific glasses. Even that was kind of fun to paint. I'm you know how I sometimes do the little mini paintings here at Twitch. I'm giving one of those away, a custom one, on Patreon on Wednesday. Well, let me finish this real quick and I'll show you guys. If you were watching during my last broadcast, you saw me do just like the last 20 minutes or something. I worked on this tiny little sketch showing how I kind of sketch out things and start a little character. And basically on Wednesday up at Patreon, I'm giving away this original painting. She'll come in a fancy frame and everything. And whoever wins her, and Patreon is, you have to have a subscription there, but it's literally $1. It's not a lot, and you can see all my social media before it goes on Facebook and all. But whoever wins it will get to tell me, hey, what's going on in the painting. It obviously there's a
basically
person there.
It's a custom.
Yeah, it's a custom painting. So if you say, hey, I want her to have brown skin and purple eyes and green hair, and I want her to be wearing glasses that match my glasses and put my dog over here and make it nighttime, or you can kind of tell me how to finish it, and you'll get the original painting itself. These usually go between $2,000 and $3,000, so it's a cool prize to win. So if you're not at Patreon yet, go sign up.
Speaking of
sometime
prizes,
before Wednesday. Yeah. Yeah, we need to talk about our Twitch stuff.
Moonbot's not working now, and we're just going to forget about that. So
yeah, don't worry about. Yeah, as long as you're in the room, we will enter you in through the our backup thing that we actually use for Patreon, which is just the random number generator. So. And
we have the throw blanket. You want me to hand that to you, Jasmine?
Why don't you hand it to me? But let me put my palette down.
Okay. Because it's huge.
I don't want to get... We have another one. You guys might have remembered... what's the last time we had the Frost Dragon thing one? But we'll have another throw blanket courtesy of People's Choice Apparel. But we've got a different one this time. It's also a wintry one. I think a lot of the throw blanket designs they choose are kind of wintry because it's supposed to be for if it's cold out. I kind of stand up, and I promise I won't get paint on it. Want me to? I don't know if you can see her. It's a big, lovely throw blanket with Winter, which is a fairy painting of mine that has a little wolfies in it and pretty butterflies. I don't know if you can see it very good. Hard for me to tell, but it's very big and lovely and very cozy. And kitty cats love them too. I think I said that last time, but yeah, we have a few of these ourselves because sometimes I get free samples, and our kitty cats get all cozy and they kind of start kneading their paws. People call it making biscuits when they start going, and they do that on those blankets all the time because they're very cozy. And then that would be the prize. That's like at 4 o'clock, I guess. About a half hour. Okay.
Unless actually 22 minutes.
Okay. And then after that, we have another prize, and this one I picked on purpose because it's kind of Celtic and it's St. Patrick's Day. So we've got a Strangely Lonely. These are the pins that were from the 2018 Kansas City Renaissance Fair. And since they were exclusive to the show, I can't sell them afterwards, but I can give them away. So I've got a handful that I can give away as prizes, and this is one of them. The others are mine. But she's got very pretty red and black hair, and she's got a little Celtic cross and kind of a Celtic border. These are one of my enamel pins. Got little 2 posts that lock on the back. And then after that, which would be
the wine glasses.
7 o'clock, are the wine glasses. This is our concession to St. Patrick's Day. Gotta have something kind of drinky, and I don't feel like having green beer right now. But these lovely friends here, you don't know how good you can see them, but they've got my fairies on them, and they are actual glass that are covered with real silver. These are made by the Bradford Exchange and are limited editions that have my characters on them. And they come in sets of 2, and you will get both of them. You can buy them also, and we will ship them anywhere. You can buy them worldwide, though, from various websites. Matt will probably tell you that later. And then finally, and this will be around the time we sign off at 8 o'clock, my little cardinal friend.
She's sparkly.
She is sparkly. She is my, I think, not the newest series I've done with the Hamilton collection, but brand new to me. I just got mine, so I got a couple extra ones, so I want to show you how she turned out. And those of you who hear us talk about our birds in the backyard, this is one of my favorite birdie friends that comes to our yard are the cardinals, and we have a couple sets of male and female cardinals that live in our yard, and we've got these lovely little statues. They are limited editions. This one's number 69, and I will sign the bottom of her. And she's got her little birdie, and her wings, like Matt said, have little bits of sparklies on them. These are made by the Hamilton Collection / Bradford Exchange. And you can also buy these if you don't win one, and Matt can show you the links about that later.
Alrighty.
We're doing a series of those, actually, based off of different birds, starting with various ones that have come to my backyard. And I've got one like with little mourning doves in it, and we're doing bluebirds, and hopefully more. If they do well, we'll hopefully make more of the little birdie ones, because those are little animals I love, and I spend a lot of my time looking at. When I'm not doing too much, I've got my big window that open to my backyard here, and I've got, I don't even know how many bird feeders and feeding stations in my yard.
Jasmine,
those are all my little
Moobot
friends.
suddenly decided to work.
Yay!
Everybody go nuts on the route.
Everybody, yes. Type it as many times as you want. Doing more than once doesn't really help, but...
Okay, so I have a confession to make.
Yeah, what's that, baby?
Moobot had 2 buckets of green beer.
Did Moobot. Okay, yeah, all right.
So I apologize.
It's kind of like me having a bucket of green NyQuil. Okay. No.
Oh, this has nothing to... I haven't had...
No, he hasn't
yesterday.
Actually. Yeah, I'm making a joke. You have...
Yay, Moobot, you sluggish old cow.
You awful...
My
God.
God.
You horrid cow. Yeah.
Such a... I mean, there's probably like 17 lines of code for this.
I know, right? It is not... I remember when I was in school, like way back in the early decades, when... we had to learn code a bit and to write basic things. And one of the things I did was do code for a basic number generator, and it was extremely basic. I mean, I am not tech savvy, but I learned how to write code to do a random number generator, which is basically what Moobot is. just has a little more user-friendly interface.
Well, that aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, no, yeah. The prize choosing raffle part of it is. I know Moobot is. I'm not going to talk bad about Moobot now.
No, we don't want to jinx it.
Yeah. I knew it was going to happen.
The thing is, I did nothing to change it. I didn't make it better. It just started on its own.
Well, that's because we didn't say the prizes yet.
Maybe so.
They're like, wait, there's a Cardinal Fairy statue. I'm in. Yeah.
Moobot did not like not being used last week.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they're blanking us because we were not here.
Well, gosh, I'm sure that other users use Moobot for
not important ones.
Okay. But anyway, that's lucky.
We probably talk about Moobot more than most people do. Wow.
But if need be, I can always what I can do is I can pull the list and I randomly number generate.
Yeah, if Moobot comes out
down,
again,
it takes me an extra minute.
Yeah, we will always find a way to do it no matter what.
Right. I see how many users are in the room. Put that in a random number generator, which are actually kind of cool. Yeah. I don't know if any of you guys have looked up those online, but those are
I use them. That's what I use up at Patreon.
Yeah, you're talking about 4 lines of code.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I use that. I've used that up at Patreon too.
Yeah.
Myself.
Yeah, those who don't know, Matt's got a Patreon too. I know we talk about Patreon up here a lot, but that's our preferred social media.
I was gonna I was actually going to I had planned on recording some audio yesterday, but my voice is so awful right now that I just can't do it. It wouldn't seem
that I felt like I was such a cop out that when we were in Vietnam and everybody wanted to rent the karaoke room, and I was like, oh, I'd love to that. And then I really did have a terrible cold, but it sounded like a lie. I'm like, oh, I still sang, but like,
we sang a Sweet song together.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Do you remember what song it was?
If I Fell by the Beatles?
Yes. Which is,
and then Matt just started doing all the George Michael songs possible. And it was
sang
great.
George Michael like a pro.
You did it like George Michael. I'd say like a pro, but there were some professional singers in our group, so
what I lack in talent, I'm made up in
enthusiasm
and charisma.
Oh, charisma.
As Shaylee would say.
Yes, charisma.
So yes.
Is Shaylee here?
Shaylee, I saw Shaylee in the room earlier. I've just been helping with prizes and trying to deal with this stupid Moobot. I mean the lovely Moobot.
A lovely, wonderful.
Excellent. 79 people are currently in the raffle.
Oh, good. I'm glad
thank you so much for showing up. You guys could be drinking beer, and hopefully you are.
You could do both. That's not. I mean, I don't want to do that too much if I'm working here, but. I've never had
Kelly
a green
Sarah
beer.
says I could listen to Matt Beckett's voice full of cold. It sounds mysterious.
Oh, it does. It's like he's in a murky cave somewhere.
Yes. I'm in a murky cave. It's funny as my ears are a little bit stuffed too.
Oh, well, that happens.
So my voice is vibrating and I can't tell how loud I'm talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hopefully it's not too loud. I apologize if
I'm going nuts.
We did a sound check earlier, but I don't know how good it's working.
It sounded pretty good, but again, I did the sound check, so I listened to it. I don't know. You know, okay, so Red Girl's drinking while coloring and listening.
Oh, that's multitasking. That's doing a good job.
Now, I see 81 people are in the room, or 105 people are in the room, but only 81 people have joined the raffle. Okay. Again, those people who maybe
if you're not sure if it worked, enter it again.
Yeah, enter it again. And this time
it won't penalize you for entering twice. It doesn't help you either, but if it was before the software was working, then it will work this time. So if you're not sure if you're in there.
Seth really needs to know about MegaCon pins. Do you know what MegaCon pins are going to be?
I'm going to be working still on the April pin.
If I don't know what the MegaCon... He's got a gun.
Okay.
He's pulled out a gun in the chat room.
Well,
he's going to shoot me.
We don't have a metal detector here. I'm still working on the April pin, which I will be designing later this episode. But so I don't specifically know. I kind of know which ones I'm going for. To be honest, I have about 15 different pin designs that are partway done, and some of them I don't know which I'm going to do for which show, or if they're ones that a specific event is going to request because it fits with their event. Like it's I'm doing a new one for Strangeling UK, and they've asked for one that was more goth looking, so I'm like, okay, well, you will get that one. So and it's like, might have been one I was planning for MegaCon, but I'm going to use it for that instead. So I've got a few events I've got to do designs for before MegaCon, but MegaCon will be coming up soon. But I've got to do Strangeling UK. I've got to finish the Tintagel one. Of course, you know the Tintagel one because it was the painting I've been working on before this, the La Belle Dame Sans Merci one. And then Strangeling UK, I think, is getting Violet
Jasmine?
Angel. Yeah.
Kittens, why don't you show Kitten?
Okay.
Angie, will we ever get a Strangeling pin? Show her probably the closest thing that we have for now.
Well,
An actual
I
Strangeling.
think I know what she's talking about because I've gotten a lot of requests for the Strangeling logo as a pin, which I always thought would. I always thought people wouldn't like it as much because it seems
That
very
Nintendo
kind
guy,
of
I don't know
corporate.
if he's in the room, but he's always promoting
and
that.
Paul from Strangeling UK has
He's probably
suggested
having
that
a party
also.
tonight.
But yeah, but now the closest thing we're getting right now to a Strangeling pin is the one that is a pin of me at an easel, a cartoon me, but she's got my little green apron. Here's the artwork for her. I don't know how good you can see on the screen. Sometimes it's easier to see it when it's like the printed out design. But there's me with my easel and a paintbrush. And there she is. That's a pen. And that will be for the this show, actually. I'm doing this painting for the Planet Comic-Con Spectrum Fantastic Live.
So currently that is the closest thing we have to
That's a Strangeling pin. But if you're
Strangeling.
asking about the Strangeling logo, like it's a Strangeling and has a little green hourglass and everything, I will be making a pin for that. And I'll probably make it a Patreon pin.
Yes,
Because that's other people probably wouldn't want to buy it.
They
If
would
I was
be
just like at the
"What
Ren
is
Fair,
this?"
I'd be like, why do I want to buy your logo? I mean, that's something you should pay me to wear. You know, it's no. That's why I probably wouldn't make it something that people would buy. I'd probably give it away as like a promotional.
So
thing.
Layla says she's waiting for the next pin set.
Yes,
We know that she's a
We know
patient
which one.
person.
That's the Poe one.
Oh,
yes.
Seth says it's just a water gun.
Oh, if it's a
Oh,
water gun, as long as it doesn't
my
have
gosh.
like battery.
Okay,
acid
so
in
some
it or
people
something.
listening. Now we have 89 people on the raffle.
Yay! Okay, that's great.
Yay. Now, the cool thing about MooBot doing everything now is I don't want to tell you, but if you had to go, put oil in your car, you'll still...
We have to go return some videos.
Yeah,
Yes,
you have to go return some videos.
Yes.
Then you'll be fine. MooBot will manage it while you're gone.
Yeah.
But we would love if you'd stay with us.
Yes. That's always.
We're at
always
111 folk.
optimum. Wow, that's great. I thought we'd get like 30 people, a bunch of teetotalers on St. Patrick's Day. I don't know.
Yeah, and again, I know my voice sounds like it's through 17 microphones.
Maddie's got a cold.
I got a cold. It sounds worse now that I've been talking.
Well,
a
get
lot.
used to it because that's how it works. When I do live events, sometimes and I have to talk for
Oh, you poor thing.
a long time, my voice just
Okay,
starts
Shaylee
going
just said
away.
American
Yeah.
Psycho reference. Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
Shaylee,
yes.
that is
Got Bret Easton
probably
Ellis
top
in the
3
house.
favorite
Yeah.
movies ever. I'm a big Bret Easton Ellis fan.
Yeah, I've read everything he's ever written.
So sometimes if I need to get out of a situation, I'll say I'll
Matt
need
will
to go
say,
return some
Matt's gotta
videotapes.
go return some videotapes.
People have no idea what I'm talking
People are
about.
like, what the heck's a videotape?
Yeah.
What is it? A videotape? What's it?
Will you be
Is it
making
like
another
is it like an
one
impact? Yeah.
of you in the canvas for people who can't make it to the show? I have an
Probably
idea of
not
something
this-
different. Maybe have Strangeling painted
No,
on the canvas.
I have gotten so many requests that I will be doing something else that is kind of like a self-portrait, but it won't be the specific mold. I'm only using this mold for the shelf. I know that sometimes it's fun to do variants on one, but this one, since it's me, I would feel weird if I made my apron a different color because it's like my apron, or if I made my hair a different color because it's what my hair currently looks like and my eye color and all that. But I am planning to do another one that is of me because a lot of people have asked. I don't want to do it too soon because it seems
Buddy
not
has a cold.
vain, but Buddy, did Matt get your cold? We shared
I
a
get your-
pizza with you.
I wonder if that's where I got it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe got it
I
from
did
Buddy.
not get the cold. I did not get a cold,
Hmm.
but Matt did. Well, yeah, that was fairly long after that you started feeling bad, though. I think you got it from the airport, if I
Sure.
were to guess. Airports just seem like they're filled with
Shaylee
colds.
says, haha, same, could not miss that reference. I use the videotape thing all the
Oh,
time.
yeah, that's
And
always
no one ever
it.
knows what I'm talking
Like,
about.
I've
Oh
got
my
to see a
gosh,
man about a
Shaylee.
horse, you know? You gotta...
I think we're, like, born too many years apart and, like, I don't know. That's
I was
funny.
gonna say you and Shaylee are twins, man.
Something like that.
You're spiritual twins.
She has a lot in common with you too, though.
Yes, she does.
Maybe she's
an artist too.
Maybe she's our
daughter from the future or the past.
You're our daughter from the future or the past.
I don't know.
We'd have to start really young.
She's our Huh?
I don't know. I don't think I'd have to start too young, but you would have.
Yeah.
I think Shaylee's what? I
think
she's around.
I think she's a lot younger than I am.
Late 20s. Maybe?
I don't know. Guess what people's ages are while they're in the room.
I hate doing that, and I'm an awful person for that.
I will say it was. I apologize if you're whoever this person was is in the room, but we had a funny thing happen at one of my live events recently. This woman came up and she said to me, "You know, I don't mean to sound mean, but you look a lot older than 22." And I said, "Yeah, I am a lot older than 22. Heck, not too long I'll be like twice that eventually." And she's like, "Well, I have a book at home and it says you're 22 years old in your biography." And I just almost didn't know what to say to her. I was like, books don't change. It's not like the internet where it's not IMDb where you look up and see how old somebody is, or it says what year they're born and you do the math. If it said George Washington was 45 years old, it wouldn't still say that. It would still say that 100 years from now. I thought that was just bizarre. I think she might have just been trying to think of something to say. But I was like, no, that book is from like 2002 or something. That's an old book. That's cool you have that book, but I mean the fact that maybe she bought it recently and didn't know it was an older book, but like, yeah, I thank you for letting me know I look a lot
paper atlas and wanting to expand.
Yeah, it's like, let me look at this map, this paper map. Can it show me where the nearest Taco Bell is?
Hey, one good thing about being actually a Generation X, not millennial so much, is I know how to read a road map.
I do too.
But I also know how to use the apps. Yeah. So, except for MooBot.
I don't know how to use apps. No, I use some apps.
So people are wondering, when you do have the post set out, how many do you think you'll have?
You know, I am not sure. The only other
How many did we have of the other? I don't know.
The only other time we've done that was with the Dia de Muertos set, and that was part of the initial release, like the very first pins I ever made. And we only made 250 of those, and it took until recently before they sold out. So, but the little fairies might be more popular than the creepy dead people with skeletons in them and stuff. So it's hard for me to judge. I will make it a limited edition.
The pins are generally more popular now.
They are, but those Dia de Muertos ones were still available for people to buy if they wanted. So I don't know. I had somebody who was like, "I'm so upset I missed." I'm like, you had like 30 months to buy them if you wanted them. But
Sexy Tink says they have that book.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, there's I'm in a few books from very, very around 2000. There was the Fairy, the art of Jasmine Becket-Griffith. There was the World of Fairy and the Art of Fairy that were actually Brian Froud and Alan Lee did the books, but they had some of the first times that you would have seen my artwork published in a book. But yeah, it would have been when I was like 20 or something. So it's kind of funny to see them now. They've held up really good. I've still got a copy each one. But I just thought that was so funny. I was like, yeah, I do look a bit older than 22.
So if somebody joined the pin group, or not the pin group, forgive me, the pin tier right now.
Oh, like at Patreon?
What pins would they get? I think we have 11 of the strawberry.
Oh, we only have 11
Was I supposed to say that?
You've already said it, so
okay.
It's out on the internet of the strawberry cupcakes.
Right.
Is that including
so if
mine?
they wanted that one, I think that's we have around 11.
Okay, so. Yes,
we're still giving those away.
That's true. These are the ones that you get when you first sign up at Patreon, and it is still that time where we actually have these to show you now, because I think last time we didn't have Luna Moths, right? I think I just had the painting for her, but right now the Patreon people who sign up get both of these right away and this one right away. So it is a good time to be a Patreon if you're one of the next 11 people. We should probably make it 10 in case like one gets lost in the mail. Well, I guess I could have mine. I had to do that one time with one of my pins, but these are the 3 you get, and there are apparently 11 of these left. So if you are wanting to get strawberry cupcakes and you sign up, you will get these 3. And then next month you'll get the new one, which will be the one I'm literally going to be painting in probably like an hour or something. So.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I think I'm happy people like watching me paint those, because it's very different than my usual kind of really detailed glazed over washes and underpainting sort of style. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you will if you stay with us for another hour or two. But no, they look like animation cells or sketches or something, and I got to color them in. Well, this is what they look like when they're shrunken down, like that one I was showing you. That's when they've been scanned in by computer, and we make the molds from them to make the little pins.
What was that pin on the screen? The Wells at Glastonbury.
Oh yes, that's
I see.
the chalice.
It was in our slideshow. That was
the Avalon
well.
Fairy. Oh, I see on the Twitch.
I see what you're asking.
Thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't see the screen, but Matt can. So, but sometimes depending on what speed your connection is, Matt won't be able to see what's up at the screen at the same time. Okay. Put a little bit more shadows under her hair since I've made the background just a little bit brighter by adding some green accents and yellow accents around the back of her hair. I want to make sure that the front of her face isn't too bright because her hair is going to be in between her and the main light source, so it'll have shadow under her hair. Like you're kind of leaning forward, got your hair in your face, got a little shadow under it.
2 minutes to the raffle.
Oh, and what was the first one? Is that the blanket?
It's the big throw.
The big blanket. I should show it one more time, and
okay.
then I'll get back to work here.
I'll hand it to you.
Okay.
And then Moobot can do its job.
Yeah, Moobot. We'll see if Moobot does its job.
I don't understand
Make
what happened.
Moobot vegan hamburgers.
It just did it to bother me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'd rather get my paints on my pants than on the blanket here. Oh, this is kind of cozy. It's a little bit chillier out today, too. Okay. Really big. You got a big, beautiful wolf. You got little baby Arctic fox wolf and a lovely wintry fairy. Don't get paint on it. I guess if you got paint on it, maybe that'd be kind of cool. These are very, very soft, lovely throw blankets that are made by People's Choice Apparel, and you'll win this one. In the back is this is a scanned in, printed out on fabric version of my signature. That's really, really big. I think it's the biggest I've ever seen my signature. But somebody will win that, and you can buy these. There's a few designs of them. Often they only have them for sale in the winter, and it's dangerously close to springtime now. When is spring? Is it the 19th or the 20th?
I don't know. It's just a couple days, huh?
Yeah, it should be pretty soon.
And we've already had our
yeah, we had our daylight savings time.
I know you and you guys in the UK.
And our British friends haven't. That's why it's 19 o'clock instead of 20 o'clock, because we had ours last weekend, and there's always this gap. Often we are in the UK around now, and we end up doing British daylight savings time, and then we end up doing American daylight savings time, which is always confusing if you have like multiple planes to catch or something. But
right.
Oh, is Moobot working? Please work.
Yeah, it's drawing an entrant. Drawing an entrant. And
like I said, if you need to, we can always do it the manual way. But
no, this should be good.
Yay!
Sister Biscuit.
Sister Biscuit. That's a great name.
Okay, let me send him the little messenger.
Oh, that's funny because I was talking about making biscuits when I was showing that, because I was talking about our cats.
They need. I won't say specifics today, but we've had a lot of.
Synchronicity has been weird.
It's been really weird today.
It's been freaking me out a bit, man. Like super weird. That just sounds more mysterious. It's like I can't tell you, but oh my god, it was weird. No. I don't know if you can tell, I'm working a little bit more on the curtain. I'll probably do some finishing touches on it before I'm done, but this is basically how I'm going with it now. I'm putting a warmer tone here, as if this is closer to the inside of the room. Like she's probably got some candles. This is obviously kind of a Rococo era painting, so she's probably got a fireplace or candles, etc. So this part of the curtain is going to be warmer than the cooler part of the curtain, which is closer to the window, so it's going to have more blue sort of tones. Even though the curtain is going to be all the same color, you'll be able to see a tonal shift in that. What I'm going to do before I do anything else is put a clear layer. I'm going to do this just with water and some magenta, quinacridone magenta mixed with dioxazine purple, which will be kind of makes a burgundy, a bit of Van Dyke brown. And I'll go over the whole thing, the whole curtain with that. And that will suddenly make the part that looks, I don't know how well you can tell on the TV, but it's like, kind of looks like an orangey yellow up there. It will make the kind of burgundy blend into that a bit better. And then I'll start working probably on the glass or on her dress. probably both at the same time, since the glass will be reflecting the dress. Whenever you paint glass or something very reflexive like that, you're going to be using most of the same colors that are in the things in the immediate surroundings. So I usually paint glass at the same time I'm painting something else. Like there's a little cushion over here. I'm going to put some of that color into there. So I'll be working on those things kind of simultaneously. But first, get some water from my paint cup. Mix it with some magenta. I'm going to mix it off on the side because I've already got a lot of colors going on. And magenta.
Jasmine, will you ever do a Wizard of Oz pin set?
You know what? I've had a few people ask. Yeah, that's the thing. I wish I hadn't done the Wicked Witch and her monkey, but I have done 3 other paintings of the Wicked Witch, so I could use any one of those other ones. Like I could do the one with the Wicked Witch and the hourglass and make that a pin, or the one with Wicked Witch and Glinda. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, I could see that being a good collection. Maybe that would be a good follow up to the Raven one that I'm working on now. That would be cute. And a lot of people collect those who might not necessarily even like my artwork. They might just say, "Oh, Wizard of Oz, I like that." I was born in Kansas. Yeah. People always say, like, "You're from Kansas, you like Wizard of Oz," and I'm like, I do, but if you remember, Kansas and the Wizard of Oz is not the magical rainbow place.
Yes,
it's the black and white dirt farm at the beginning. It looks awful, the tornadoes and everything. I'm taking some of that magenta and going over the whole thing very quickly. It has a lot of water in it, which is why, I don't know if you can tell, maybe I'll move a little bit closer to the camera here. I'm going to scoot down my chair rail here. Got a bit better. I'm going to take that magenta and put it on. Since I've got a lot of water, I'm kind of smushing it on just like you'd put butter on a piece of bread or something, and then smushing it around with my fingers. Yeah.
Ricky wants to know if Jasmine has finished La Belle Sam's Mercy.
Oh, I have. Yes.
She wants to see it.
Oh,
she knows.
I will.
She knows it's sold, but she wants to see it.
Sure. Yeah, I will show that in just one moment. After I finish this, I will grab her. I'll be wanting to wash off my hands after doing this, and I'll pick her up because she's on the other side of my studio. And yeah, she is sold, but she turned out lovely, and we'll have prints and we'll have canvases, and she will be the pin that we'll be having at Tintagel too, for those of you who are coming to Tintagel. I'm going to make a little bit more purple in this because that yellow is still showing through. Oh, that's looking nice. Always I like glazing. It's kind of the fun of varnishing, but you get a color shift also, so it makes us happy.
Jasmine, you're not supposed to cuss on Twitch.
What? I don't know. Oh, you're awful.
You said color what?
Huh? Shift.
Oh, I'm sorry. My hearing isn't
shifting.
Very good
I was
right
going
now.
to say you have a cold, right? So you can't hear what I'm saying.
Yeah,
no, I don't.
I'm an
awful cuss
person.
on Twitch all the time. I just choose not to. I could keep this all ages here. I certainly didn't cuss when I was a little girl. No.
So our next show is actually next weekend.
Oh, yes. I had almost forgot about that until we got home. And it's at our Disney, because last weekend we were at Disney Land in California. And this weekend we are at Disney World here in Florida.
The reason we might forget about that is because Disney does so much of the work when
oh yeah, those ones are
right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do a lot of the work too, but yes.
No, you do the
no. As far
work.
as like setting up the
Sorry,
displays and yeah, that's okay, baby. I'm teasing you, but no. As far as like the prints and stuff, those are made by the Walt Disney Company. Those are displayed and sold. They've got workers from Disney working there. You know, it's not like when we do something like MegaCon and Matt and my sisters are like printing things out and bringing them in the truck and, you know, all that stuff. But no, also too, I didn't know about, I was still waiting on my schedule for a while because they just had me do a bunch of the Epcot shows, and they weren't sure. Oh, we want you to come to Disney Springs to the Disney Wonderground Gallery, but we don't know what day it's going to be. And then it all just came through. So they're like March 23rd is one, so that's a week from yesterday. And that will be at the Co-op at Disney Springs here in Florida at Walt Disney World Resort. And inside the Co-op, the Co-op's a bigger building for those who don't know what that is. And inside it has multiple stores. It's like a very, very, not small because it's huge. It's a very specific Disney kind of shopping mall sort of area atrium thing that is inside.
There's a luggage
Disney
store,
Springs. Yeah,
there's sort of store.
They're all Disney
beautiful dress
specific.
sort of store.
There's like one that just has 1950 style Disney dresses made by a Disney company, and it's and then they've got their Wonderground galleries inside there, as opposed to the one in California that is outdoors. Anyways, I'll be there next Saturday from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and everybody's welcome to come. And I didn't bring any with me, and I'm kicking myself, but I assume they'll have it here too. But in California, you know, my new pieces that came out, like the Cruella and Tiana and Cinderella, they had merchandise and stuff too. Not just like at Epcot where they only had the artwork for the International Festival of the Arts. They had Cruella t-shirts, and they had Cinderella mugs, and they had magnets, and what else did they have? I didn't really get to look that much because I was signing stuff the whole time.
Let's think.
They had Cruella t-shirts.
Shirts, magnets, new journals.
Which ones were the journals that were new?
I think Tiana was a journal.
Tiana is a journal. Yes, they made a cool journal. Like
if Jackie's in the room or Buddy's in the room, they saw what the stuff.
Yeah, there's probably a handful of people who were here. Tiana was definitely a journal because I remember writing on them.
So we'll get some of those. Those will be great.
So those, I'm pretty sure those will be here in Florida at Disney World at least by next weekend.
Because we're about to buy
a bunch. Because I was going to buy a bunch there at the store, and I was like, I don't have a lot of room in my suitcase. And they're like, well, they'll have it in Florida. So hopefully by
Cinderella
Saturday,
mini print was already. I see the one that's like a little framed print.
Oh, did they have those too?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had that little. They had them all for all three, didn't they? Or did they?
No,
did they only have Cinderella?
Okay, so
sometimes they don't come out with all of them at once.
Cruella and Cinderella magnet, Tiana journal, Cruella t-shirt and keychain, Cinderella mug.
Okay, so
and then there was also the little framed one.
There were some of the miniature canvases.
I think that was Cinderella.
The little one, was that Cinderella? When I'm at those sort of shows, basically I'm there with the.
Oh, and the compact.
Oh yeah, they had the little mirrors. See, this is why I should have bought one of each so I could at least show people.
Which one was the mirror?
Hey, are they up at your WDW store? Have you looked, Mandy?
Oh, look.
I haven't looked up there. They
doubt
probably aren't yet because that would be California. They're out of Florida.
Well, they can still get them here.
If they're here yet, I bet they're not going to be there until next weekend when I'm actually physically there. But Disney surprises me a lot.
Let me check.
You never know. But anyways, all those new pictures that I've been showing you as postcards, etc., are now on merchandise at the Disney theme parks, at their Wonderground Gallery, at Disneyland, and should be.
It was Tiana compact mirror.
Tiana compact mirror.
And Cinderella mini canvas.
Okay, so Cinderella is a mini canvas. Tiana is a journal and a compact. And Cruella's got a T-shirt, and Cinderella has a coffee cup. Is that right?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, they have the Cruella shirt.
The Cruella shirt. I know, and I wish
up at your WDW store.
Oh, they have it up there. Okay. And hey, post it. Is it in stock?
I don't know. Let's see.
Buy one.
Don't buy one.
I won't. I'll buy one when I get to Disney World.
It'll
be cheaper there. Yeah. Okay. You can post a link to it. They ship worldwide. You'll get yours before I get mine. Won't that be?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put a link up there.
Yeah, go ahead and put a link. They're a shopping service that is here in Florida that basically goes to Disney and buys stuff for you.
Thank you so much for the people who just joined the pin tier.
Oh, shoot. We're not running out of these yet, are we? Okay.
I think we're still good.
We're still good. Okay. All right. But yes, for those who are just joining, we had, at the time we had 11 left. Apparently we've got a couple people joined in since then, but those lucky people will get both of these. Oh, and I haven't showed you guys yet. I'll show you real quick because this was not finished at the time I showed you. They're still doing the enamels. This is Luna Moths. You might remember me painting her last year for the Pop Gallery. She glows in the dark, and I don't know if it's dark enough outside, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm holding her next to a light if you can't tell what I'm doing. It's like the other enamel ones I've done. I've made her glow in the dark, but it's the little moths glow.
Oh, that is so cool.
Let's see if this works, because she turned out so cool. I don't know if it's dark enough. Can you tell on the screen? It might take it a second.
Give me a second. I was looking at something.
Oh, that's okay.
But the moth. Yes. Oh my gosh, you
can. It's still afternoon here, so it's still a bit. But yeah, the type of enamel we used on the moths is even a brighter glow in the dark than we've used in the past, and she turned out really neat. And she also looks pretty when she doesn't glow in the dark. That's fine. But she's the one that everybody who is already a Patreon pin collector, or anybody who joins this month, will get her, and apparently the next 11 minus however many people will be getting her as well. And that's the only way you can get those. You can't buy those. We only give them away. And then you always get the pin of the month. And this month it is Voodoo and Violet. And next month will be the painting that I'll be working on later. Now, I think that's going to take a second to dry. I've got to get this horrible blood off my hands.
People are loving that glow.
Isn't she so cute? But she is, she's currently she's the new Patreon pin. So she's the one that you just get for signing up as the pin tier at Patreon. And then a few lucky couple of remainders, they might be gone by the end of this day. But
so people are proud. Some people are proud they voted for Luna Moths.
Yes, some of you might know that we did a vote for these to see which pin it would be, which is also kind of a good way of seeing what some of the future possible MegaCon pins will be. Is to look at the other ones that were the semi-finalists in the voting, because those are obviously ones people have been requesting. So. Those are ones that, if they're not MegaCon ones, they might be upcoming ones for Pin of the Month, etc. And what was I going to do? Oh, I was going to wash this off my hands, and I wanted to grab the La Belle Dame Sans Merci. I have a printout of her, too. I might show that because it's smaller, but I'll show you how she turned out. If you don't mind talking to them, Maddie, I know you've got a cold, but
sure.
I'm going to run to the bathroom, wash my hands quick. Get this red stuff off so I can start working on her dress and on the glass, and then probably after, when we're about halfway through the broadcast, I'll start working on the pin design, which is still a secret, but you will find out soon.
Has anybody heard of the Salton Sea? I was reading the, does anyone have the Atlas Obscura book? It's a book of kind of curiosities, but they're places mostly. So I was looking at Atlas Obscura, and since I was in Southern California recently, I looked at this place called the Salton Sea, and imagine the Colorado River overflowed, and it filled up this empty space in the desert in California, right? And for years and years, for like 20 years, it was lush and beautiful, and people set up all these seaside, resorts, and it was the biggest lake in California. I think it still is. And eventually, the saltiness caught up to it. There was no rain for years, and it never flooded again. And a bunch of, all these, fish started dying because of the saltiness, and the resort started closing, and all their plans to have all these schools and a whole community around this one lake just vanished. And now it's just this big abandoned place, and it's called the Salton Sea, Saltonc. And it kind of freaked me out. I want to go visit it, but they say the beach there is just covered with fish skeletons. So I just thought that was weird how a place that was so vibrant and lovely once can just, in a few years, just be, turn into nothing. They say about 400 residents still live there. So it kind of reminded me in a way of Chernobyl. Some of you may know about Chernobyl, how there was a reactor and it blew up, right? So Chernobyl has an old abandoned theme park there, and I think that you can kind of go visit it. I'm not sure. And there's a lot of mystery around Chernobyl. There's some people that never left and don't have any signs of cancer or anything. So I think there are a lot of things that we don't know about radioactivity, that either maybe it affects only certain type of people and not others. It's just really interesting, these places that were once loved and just abandoned. This is the first year since 2011 that California hasn't been in drought stage. Wow. So yeah, but that was a river that actually overflowed, they got no support from, like you're saying, Melville, they got no support from the rain, and eventually the fishies, however they got there, we're trying to figure out how the fish got there. So, but it's called the Salton Sea. Look it up. I guess there's still a resort that is there, refurbished in 2010. It's the only place that you could really visit. I'd like to visit Chernobyl too. Yeah, they did turn it into a community center. I'm not sure if you can actually stay there in the Salton Sea.
It's like having a rec area.
But definitely, I recommend the Atlas Obscura. For those of you who don't have that book, you could find it at your local bookstore. I saw it in Britain, so it's definitely there as well. But it's just curiosities for places around the world.
Unusual.
Yeah, unusual places, just all around the world. It's just really, really cool. I've noticed a lot of scrap metal. Like scrap metal heaps that people have turned into art. And I'm surprised that the City Museum in St. Louis wasn't mentioned.
Is it not in there? Because that kind of reminds me of something like that.
It isn't mentioned in there.
What is this? I'm sorry, I'm looking for the printout of them. Oh, here she is.
Okay.
Yay,
Jasmine
the
found it.
original painting is in my cabinet now, but I have the printout of her. I found her. Okay.
While Jasmine's showing you that, I'm
she
gonna grab a
turned
glass of water.
That's fine. I'm sorry, honey, your voice is going out on you. But here is La Belle Dame Sans Merci. This is just the printout, the color proof for it. The original painting is quite bigger and harder to show you, and also she's in the process of being varnished. But here's how she turned out. She had all the little poppies. Hopefully it's not too shiny. It's glossy here. And I'm very, very proud of how the helmet turned out. Some of you might remember when I was working on the helmet and I was like, it's gonna be shaped like this, but I can't really do the shiny bits until I know what's going around it. No, it's kind of like how I'll be talking about when I'm painting the glass here, how the glass tureen fountain here will be incorporating the colors of its surroundings, which is very much like how the Anglo-Saxon Arthurian helmet here, how, there's a big red poppy. That means that part's going to be red, that part's going to be super red. If you look really closely, you can see where her upper arm is reflected in there, and the front part of her arm going down at an angle is there, and her leg and foot are reflected there. So that was me getting to nerd out on a bit of art technique. So that's my favorite part of the whole painting. Other people might like the skeletons or the obvious lovely fairy, but she turned out neat, and she will be the pin that we're giving away at Tintagel. She's also a coloring page. I don't think she's finished yet. I haven't given her out yet. Have I at Patreon?
I don't think so.
I don't think so yet, but she is going to be the coloring page for coming up.
Oh, thanks again for that. We got another pin person.
Oh, golly!
Join the Patreon.
Thank you very, very much. So, yeah. I was going to show you something else.
Melville says, so gorgeous. Is there any chance of a variant of the Tintagel pin?
Maybe. That's one that, let me look at it for a second. I'm trying to think. Since, it is a very specific scene. For those who don't know, a variant is when you use the same metal mold for a pin design. Like, let's say I had this pin here. Like, I use the same actual metal, but put different colors of enamel. Enamel is like the paint that you put in the little, it's like stained glass window, kind of like. And there's different colors that are poured into it with tiny, tiny little eyedroppers in every little black metal cell that's in there. And a variant would be like with this one, let's say I did one where she had green skin and like purple hair. Or if I made her... Maybe there's a variant where the moths don't glow in the dark and they look like monarch butterflies, but use the same physical shape, but you make it a different color. So if we ever use the term variant, that's what we were talking about, or people at the pin group are talking about. So this one here, since the it is kind of specific to Tintagel because it does have an Arthurian theme, but I could obviously do different colors. Yeah.
2 more folk just joined the
golly
here. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna run out of these fast, aren't we? Yeah.
Jasmine will send you all the welcome letter tomorrow.
Yeah, we have I was gonna say I'll probably be working late tonight, but in the morning I'll be going through if you are new Patreon people, and I will be emailing you a thing that has links because we have the coloring pages and pins and discounts and also, but in the meantime you can go through and look at all the previews and stuff that the rest of the public has not seen yet. So that's always kind of
Jasmine.
Cool. It should be pretty like with purple flowers. Yeah.
Shaylee said she sent a photo to you. She found from 5 years ago with herself and La Belle Dame Sans Merci by Frank Dixie.
Oh, Oh, that's a lovely
So funny
one.
it came up today, and she thought of you.
Ah, that's a good synchronicity right there. Oh, thank you, Shaylee. That's I know I showed some of the ones. I forget if I showed the Dixie one or not, but there are several very, very good pre-Raphaelite paintings that are that same theme. The idea, of course, based on the Keats poem, which is based on a much, much earlier poem of the beautiful girl without mercy. Sometimes it's sans regret, which means without regrets, and good to be without regrets. Or to not do anything regretful, I guess. But yeah, a variant on this one, I kept staring at with colors. They do look like, they are obviously poppies in her hair, but I'm thinking it was cut down to a pin size, like if it was like this size here, and which it will be, because it will be a pin, and it was metal, and it was solid colors. Well, remember how when we were in California, Maddie, how we, a couple days ago when we were walking out in the forest there, and we saw other poppies that were different colors.
Yeah, we saw
yellowy orange ones, and did we see white poppies?
Oh, I wanted to tell everyone that a lot of you guys heard about some of the fires in California.
Oh yeah.
And one of our favorite places,
Malibu Creek State Park.
So we heard that it caught fire.
Yeah, people were like, "Oh, it burned down." I'm like, "What?"
We went to look at it, and something amazing happens after a fire.
Yeah.
The new growth was beautiful.
Oh gosh, yeah.
A lot of the trees, of course, were char.
Yeah.
Just
which in itself is it's very sad, but it's kind of lovely because a lot of the trees are just kind of black.
But I cannot believe the growth over the ground. It's just gorgeous. It was so green in California this time.
Like I don't know, like a highlighter marker, bright green little flowers and grass growing on everything, and so many wildflowers. Sometimes it takes, obviously fire should not happen like that, and it's very awful, but I was very glad because I was very worried about going there because I love that place. I've been going there since I was little, and I was worried it was all going to be burned up and wasn't going to be there anymore, but I didn't even know it'd be open. And then we went in there and it was like, oh, this is lovely. The animals are out. There's lots of birds, little flowers, little tiny trees growing up, and it made me happy.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
How did you get into Disney, and who has been your favorite character to paint? I assume they mean Disney character.
Oh, Disney character. Favorite Disney character to paint is a hard one. And it changes all the time. I like doing any of the Haunted Mansion ones, which isn't really a character, but that's a ride. I liked painting Maleficent a lot, and I like painting Snow White. I like painting all of them, really. But how I started in with Disney is a complicated one to answer because there are so many different divisions of Disney that I've worked with in different capacities. Like I've done for a long time. Golly, but like 15 years I've been doing like concept art projects and co-brands with the Bradford Exchange, and that was just basically the licensors who do my statues, and like the little cardinal fairy I just showed you were like, hey Jasmine, would you like to do some designs that are co-branded Jasmine Becket-Griffith, but are also co-branded with Tim Burton, and also co-branded with Disney, and also co-branded with the Bradford Exchange, and also co-branded with the Hamilton Collection, and complicated contract stuff like that. And that was just kind of like, I was already doing work with them, and it's like, yeah, sure, let's do some Disney ones. I love Disney. And that was how I first started doing official Disney project things. Then there was, here in Florida, we have Disney Springs, which is like downtown Disney in California, and we have the Pop Gallery here, which is a third-party owned company, but Disney has a share in the profits, etc. So it's like an independent contractor for things, and that was basically because one of our neighbors owned that gallery, and he knew us from just being around town, and like came and sat by us at a restaurant and started talking to us one day here in Florida. As far as the things that you see, like the Disney theme park merchandise and the Wonderground Gallery, which is where a lot of people know my stuff from, and like the Disneyana Gallery, Art of Disney, places like that, like when you're coming out of the Tower of Terror and there's Jasmine stuff at the gift shop, that is because some of the higher ups at the Disney creative teams for Disney Parks merchandise had been coming to my art shows here in Florida for a while, and they obviously have headquarters here. And they actually collected my artwork. So when they were looking for artists who already had a kind of a level of following, basically they're like, you always have a big line at MegaCon. we could tie that in with Disney and make both our lines bigger, sort of thing. And they just called me one day and asked me if I'd like to do official character portraits.
Jasmine.
So I said yes. So there's quite a few different ways that I work with Disney. Yeah.
Brenda says that the California poppy is a state flower.
Oh, I didn't know
They don't always bloom in excess, but with the rains, they've been amazing. Yeah,
that's it. I'm glad that they're getting rain out there finally. I think you were talking about that when I was washing my hands, but...
Kieran says Tintagel will be the very first long drive in their new car.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm very much looking forward to going there.
That's probably going to be a very lovely drive through the country there. For those who don't know England, that's a very, very pretty place to drive through, Cornwall and everything.
And Tigger wants to know about our time as cast members. Did we do anything interesting? And how long ago were you cast members?
I was a cast member when I still was a student in Kansas. So this was 20 odd years ago. I worked for several divisions of the company. It had nothing to do with my artwork at that time. It was just like a local office place. I was going between there and Dairy Queen, and I was trying to do something that seemed more grown up, sort of, and I did Disney dining reservations, and I started off doing that, and then I ended up working for the Disney catalog and some of the Disney merchandise lines, and then I ended up working in their fraud prevention division for a while, which was kind of fun because I'd like talk to detectives about people trying to use fake credit cards on the Disney website, and that was kind of neat. But that was just something I kind of did to pay bills while I was still a kid.
And
and Matt worked
started
there
working
also.
at the Disney catalog.
Yeah,
and got
Matt worked at
Disney
the
catalog
catalog,
guest
yes.
relations, then
Yes.
moved up to
This would have been, again, like 20 years ago.
yeah, DisneyStore.com, which it was brand new.
Which was
People
brand new.
didn't even know about the internet.
The internet was.
Yeah, they were kind of amazed by it.
Yeah.
Then I worked at Disney.ebay.com.
Yeah.
Sorry. And
which was the Disney eBay site. Yeah.
Yes. And basically really cool old things from rides they would put up on eBay.
They sold like the original Disneyland sign.
Right, things like that.
Yeah.
So we would sell those. And then after that I worked for a short time at the Disney store
in Kansas.
Yeah. And then I worked at Rainforest Cafe at downtown Disney, which is now Disney Springs here, but that doesn't really count as a cast member.
No, that's like saying I'm a cast member. I'm not really a cast member. I just work freelance.
Except I got into the parks for free.
You did, yeah.
Working at Rainforest.
That's very true, yeah.
And Jasmine does not.
And I do not. I don't get into the parks for free. No. Still don't.
And Layla says of all the figurines that Jasmine has worked on, she has to say her favorite collection has to be the Raven Post set.
Oh.
I think I knew that, Layla.
I think I knew that too. First of all,
thank you so much, SB Reynolds.
Oh, was that the magic knife there?
Mm-hmm. They just subscribed.
Oh, thank you very much. That always helps us stay up here at Twitch longer. The more people do the little subscribe thingy. Does it still work if you're an Amazon Prime person? Do you get to use that as a Prime whatever at Twitch? Do you know, Maddie?
No idea.
I don't know either.
Mine just constantly renews.
Does it?
But I don't use mine from Amazon.Prime.
No, I mostly use Amazon to like deliver me groceries because I'm always at home.
It's 4:30 our time now, Jasmine.
Oh, okay.
We're at 115 viewers.
Oh, lovely. Good to see everybody.
Amanda Rabbit says, has Jasmine ever done paintings based on the version of Alice in Wonderland by American McGee?
I have not.
My gosh, you get asked this every time.
I have not.
Or would you ever in the future possible dark/gothic Alice painting? I mean,
I have done some creepy Alice paintings. You will see some of them very soon coming out in my new Alice in Wonderland coloring book that will be coming out not too long later this year from Blue Angel Publishing. But I have not done anything with American McGee, but American, if you're out there, I would like to do artwork with you, so let me know. I think that would be a blast. No, most of my Alice artwork has either been just public domain Alice, like Victorian Alice sort of stuff, or obviously products with Disney Alice 1951 Alice in Wonderland movie. So I have not done any other branded Alice's, except for, no, that's not true. That actually, it's one of the things I was going to show you in case you missed it last time, with Tim Burton's Alice, with the live action films.
Turtle Girl says, I'm a patron of his too.
Oh, I didn't know he's on Patreon. Shoot.
That's because they don't have Discovery.
Ah, I wish they had a discovery element at Patreon.
Yeah.
I would clean up, man. But no, I will look him up there, and I will join his Patreon because that is awesome, and that would be a really fun collaboration. I think everybody would like that. But yes, I have done the Tim Burton new live-action Alice movies with Disney, co-branded with the Hamilton Collection and the Bradford Group and the Jasmine Becket-Griffith brand as Disney Alice in Wonderland. And I think I showed this maybe our last broadcast, but these are little statues. They're not available internationally yet. They're still in the production phase with Disney, but they are they're at the Hamilton Collection website for pre-order. But these are little statues, and they are basically my official fairies dressed as the official Disney live-action characters from the films, not from the real people, the live-action films, not the cartoons. So I have done that. That's probably the closest thing. They're not. Actually, the movie, I think, is creepier than that. Hamilton always has more sweeter, cutesier, less scary things, for the most part. But actually, Layla was talking about that. The Poe series was probably one of the darker ones I did with them. I'm getting a little bit of a sniffle too, Maddie. I hope I didn't catch your cold.
No.
And I was like, Maddie, you probably cut it from Buddy. No, you probably cut at the airport. But then I was like, wait, Buddy works at the airport.
And I think Buddy piped up when...
Oh.
Definitely contact American and Martin. I have them on Patreon and Discord.
Oh,
The
gosh.
collab would be wonderful. Can't wait to buy the coloring book.
Hey. Well, can you make a note to remind me, Maddie? I'll find him and I will friend him on Patreon because
Sure.
any artist I like, I friend them on Patreon. And if you are ever on Patreon and you're looking for other cool people to like, look at who I like. Not that I know it's cool, but if you look up there, you will see a lot of artists doing original stuff, and it's a wonderful way to support artists that you like and see stuff that you wouldn't normally see, and unofficially win prizes and stuff like that. I follow quite a few artists up there. Also, it's a really good place for musicians because they can, like, hey, here's a demo I'm working on. You can download this MP3, or here's the album. We're not even gonna put it in iTunes for 6 months, but you can get it here first, and it's free as long as you're a Patreon member. And that's the thing I like about Patreon. There isn't a middleman other than the software, but it's not a jerky software. It's pretty good. There's not a middleman between the artist and the person who is liking the art, and which is like the opposite of something like Facebook. So I like that. Nothing against Facebook, but grumble. Okay. Anyways, put some darker bits in the curtain here, and that is looking pretty good. I'll probably do another layer before I finish it up, but in the meantime I want to work on the glass and the dress, and let me know, Maddie, once it gets to be 5 o'clock, and I will start working on the pin.
You got about 25 minutes.
Okay. So I'm gonna get me some Payne's Gray and some Van Dyke Brown. These are two of the darker colors that I use when I'm wanting to make something that looks like black but has a lot of either bluish green, which is what I would use the Payne's Gray for, or reddish brown colors, which is what I use the Van Dyke Brown for. And since, like I was talking about, I think I showed a lot last time how I was showing the embroidery that I did on the little bodice here. I made it look like little stitches by using a very, very, very tiny little brush. Thank you again, Jackie, if you're out there, for the brushes. You are amazing. I am literally using one of your brushes right now. Thank you. And if anybody else sees the SG595 Royal Lignickel brushes, yes, send them my way.
Thank you again for joining the pin tier.
We got another pin person?
Yes, we did.
Woo-hoo!
Wow.
Well, this is one of the times that there are certain times when different pins overlap, and it's like, wow, if you join now and you get like 3 times the many pins as usual, and this is like one of those azimuths of too many cosines going over and over and making too many feedback loops, and you're getting lots and lots of pins, so it's a good time to join.
So you were saying meh to Facebook, and then right after you said that, Moobot said, come see Jasmine on Facebook.
Oh, thanks, Moobot. I don't know about Moobot sometimes.
Oh, Jackie's so happy you love your brush.
Yes, thank you so much. I really can't stress it. Those will keep me going for a while. So if anybody finds any more, let me know. And thank you also for the contact info for the company, Jackie. Jackie knows what I'm talking about. Everybody else is like, what the heck is Jasmine talking about?
4:37, we're at 109 viewers. Thank you so much for coming out on St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
In I don't know how it is in all the countries, but in the country I'm from, United States of America, everybody's Irish today.
Yeah.
So if you take a DNA test, it'll come up Irish.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yep. So all the
everybody's Irish. Yeah.
All the forensic labs are closed today because it doesn't matter.
Because everybody's Irish. Okay. Actually, more than half the people in America are a little bit Irish, apparently. So I think a lot of the world is really.
It's true. We had a large influx of Irish folk.
My
came
family, yeah.
In early 1900s, late 1800s.
Yeah.
And they're just a part of our nation now.
Yeah.
And we're all.
Yeah, I think I'd say like over 60% of Americans. Doesn't mean if you look Irish or not, you're part Irish somehow.
Yeah, so, I mean that could be.
I've had friends who are Black or Asian, and it's like, oh, apparently I'm part Irish too. So there you go. That's how. I mean, if you 200 years from now, I think everybody will be everything, and then people can stop arguing. Yeah.
Turtle Girl says, just started acrylic painting. Do the golden paints you use stay wet a while so you can talk and paint? My basic ones just seem to dry so quick.
They do dry quickly. In fact, I think the ones I use, the fluid acrylics, they dry even quicker. But if you see, and if you go back and see some of my videos, I talk about this a bit more. I want them to dry quickly. Sometimes I've got a hairdryer here, so they dry fast. I don't try to blend them on my panel at all. When I touch it on the panel, I want it to be there and done. If I want to blend it, I'll do it really fast on my finger, but I'm not trying to blend it with the color underneath. I'm trying to put another clear layer on top of an existing color. So what I do is I do a lot of kind of gray, black and white painting underneath. Like if you look, like at the little ruffles on her dress, those don't have any colors yet. So when I put a little bit of color on top, I'm not trying to make it mix with the gray and white there. I'm trying to put a layer transparent, like a stained glass window on top of it to look as if you can still see the color underneath it or the shape underneath it and put a color on top of it. So you have to treat it differently than you would something like oils. Oils, if I wanted to blend that, I could start mixing in it right now, and that white paint would probably still be wet, and I could. In some ways, oils are a lot easier, but I've got the bad habit of putting my brush in my mouth, and a lot of oil paints are a little poisony, so I use the acrylics. But I just do layer, 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 layer. If you're talking about on your palette, that's when I want my paints to stay wet, and I use a plastic plate, obviously, but under here I have a sponge that I keep soaked in water, and then I have a piece of palette paper I've cut into a circle that is the same size of my plate, and that way I don't have to keep pouring my paints out during the whole. I'll do it like once or twice every few hours instead of doing it every 5 minutes. That keeps these paints wet, but as soon as they touch this, that will be dry. When it's touched to the board, that's when I consider, oh, that paint's going to stay there. I'm not going to try to blend it, not going to try to mix it. So I do my mixing on my palette, or put a little bit on my finger, and I kind of smudge it around on here.
People are liking that sponge idea.
Yeah, it's pretty nifty. It's actually part of a system of, it's Masterson's Stay Wet, it's called. I put a link to it on my Amazon shop. If you scroll down and click my Amazon shop, I think it is still there. Scroll past all the Oracle decks and things and look for Masterson's Stay Wet. And they don't come in little circles like this. They come in huge, like, sheets that are like, I don't know, maybe 14 by 18, like a piece of sponge the size of like a pillow. And the paper is that big too, and they come in a big sealed, like, Tupperware. What I do is I just take scissors, like literally these scissors here, and I've made a little circle, and I know it's the size of the bottom part of this plastic plate. I will use the same plate for months, and I'll use the same sponge, and I'll use the same piece of paper, and I just soak them in water, and I rinse them out, but I can put it in a Ziploc bag overnight, and my paints are still wet. But once they touch the panel or the canvas, and they touch the air, they are going to dry immediately. There is a type of golden fluid acrylic paint, or it's not a golden fluid. I think Is it not the open? I forget what it's called. There's one that is meant to work like oils, but I have not tried it. They sent me a little sampler one time because they know I buy a lot of their paints, and I have not tried it, but it's supposed to be something that you can blend like oil paints. But I'm so used to the way that I work. I kind of not get in a rut, but I know it's going to work, and I know what I'm going to do, and I'm usually on like a horrible deadline or something, so I always kind of use the same materials. But if I ever get a chance, I might play around with them. So there are things like that. There's also extenders you can put in them. I've tried that, and that I don't know how good that works. It kind of made some areas of my panel shiny, but I don't think I was actually using it right, because I haven't really had a lot of experience with it. But yeah.
Shaylee was in Glastonbury.
Oh, recently?
Yesterday.
Is the fairy fair going on then? Or is it just for fun?
They said, Shaylee says, was explaining to my company, I don't know if...
Oh, yeah.
That I met you and Jasmine there, so magical.
Aw. I love Glastonbury. We will be back there, October.
And Shaylee loves pea soup.
Ah, pea soup is good. Oh, that's sad. Yesterday, Mandy wasn't feeling
wondering
good.
if it will get
wanted pea soup.
Dark by the time Twitch ends.
I don't know, because we haven't done this since,
Yeah.
since daylight has happened here, daylight savings.
When you first started your art, what materials did you use?
It depends when. What do you mean? There wasn't like a time I said, "Hey, I've started my art." I mean, I started when everybody did, when they were 2 and got crayons, and I just didn't stop painting and making art after that. When I was like 2 or 3, I would use crayons. When I was like 5, first time I started selling my paintings, I was 5, and I used watercolors then. Then when I was about, God, what year was this? I was in a spelling bee, and I won a bunch of money when I was 12, and I bought a bunch of Bob Ross painting kits, and those were oil paints, so I used those for probably from the time I was 12 until I was about 17, and then I used to have to paint in this weird cafeteria, so I used watercolors again after that because I couldn't carry paints with me. And then when I was about 22 maybe, I think I started using acrylics, and I've pretty much used acrylics since then. Occasionally I'll use something else. I'll do pastels, or sometimes I'll work on linen or canvas instead of wood board, but pretty much exclusively for the past 10-20 years I've been doing acrylics on wood.
So Kieran says it'll take about 3 hours and 42 minutes to get to Tintagel.
Oh, it's like going from Malibu to LAX. Except it's 20 miles.
Yeah, hey Kieran, it takes me 5 days to drive from Orlando to California.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Hey, that should be a nice drive, though. It should be a pretty part of the country, and it should be a nice time of year to drive through England, too. Tintagel is, for those who don't know that we're talking about, it is a show we're doing, a fair festival in England, in Cornwall, in Tintagel. It is May the 4th. It's just a one-day show. And that painting I was showing y'all earlier, the Belle Dame Saint Merci, that we're doing the special pin for, this is the one I was painting a few episodes ago. She is the painting that we are debuting there, and we'll have the prints debut there, and we'll have the little pins there as little giveaways. And I have not been to Tintagel before. I did print out some pictures of it, because I'm just a dork and I'm excited to travel. Not that it's dorky, but I'll see if I can find those, because it looks absolutely gorgeous. Oh, and Merlin's cave is there. See, I want to go see Merlin's cave. It's like carved into the cave. And look, there's like a suspension bridge over there. Oh, it's neat. And
that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's got, of course, the remains of the castle, King Arthur and all. It looks really neat. And I've got friends who live in Cornwall, and it just looks lovely there. What am I putting more? If you look at Tintagel, just Google the words Tintagel, Tintagel Castle, Tintagel countryside, anything like that, you will see many, many lovely things. I think I've left my other
Ren Girl wants to know if there'll be
here.
prints of this one.
Of this one I'm working on now? Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Pretty much anytime I do a painting, there are prints of it, unless it's something special like a Oh, sometimes commissions I don't do prints of them. If it's like a portrait of somebody's granddaughter, I'm not gonna sell prints of it unless I don't mind and it's something I think other people would like. Or, for example, when I did the special merchandise design for the Tim Burton 25th anniversary for The Nightmare Before Christmas, that was just for like t-shirts and coffee cups, and they didn't do prints of that one, and that's fine. I did the painting, and they just left the painting on things, and there's little statues and things, but there aren't prints of it. So sometimes, but those are very rare occasions. If you ever see me painting something at Twitch, there's gonna be prints of it. I don't think there's a time that there wouldn't be, that I can think of. Because if it's like a Tim Burton or Disney thing, I probably wouldn't be allowed to paint it up on Twitch because I got to get it approved before I show it to the public. A couple little bit more dots of light on her eye now that I've got some white paint on there. Yeah.
About 12 minutes to raffle.
Okay. I heard a beep when you said that. So, in the meantime, I'm going to take some of that Van Dyke Brown and some of the Payne's Gray, which is kind of the navy blue. And I'm going to darken in the areas that I know are going to be dark. I'm going to scoot this up a bit because I don't know.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
Ricky wants to know if there will be an ACO of her mini.
Of which one? Oh, of her mini? Oh, yeah, I was going to. I usually, I ask people, that was a custom one. I was going to ask her if that would be okay. If it is, then I will make one. That's an example of when it's a custom piece, and if it's a portrait of somebody, I don't always like to just, hey, everybody have a copy of it. So if she doesn't mind, then I'll definitely make ACO of it. I'll probably embellish it up here at Twitch.
Kieran wants to let you know that he's drinking a nice strawberry milkshake.
Oh, that sounds lovely. We were just talking about strawberries, weren't we?
Yeah.
We were talking about strawberry fairies.
129 people are in the raffle.
Wow.
106 people in the room.
That's fantastic.
So our second raffle will be the Strangely Lonely pin.
Again, that's vaguely Celtic theme. That's somewhat appropriate for St. Patrick's Day. We've got the pin that she was the exclusive for the Kansas City Renaissance Fair in 2018. So after the festival ended, I've got a few of these left over, so I thought I'd give them away to folks like you guys. So I don't know how good you can see her, but she is super cute. She's got a little Celtic cross that's kind of mossy. And she's got pretty red and black hair.
People are wondering about kitty time.
Oh, maybe. How far are we to raffle?
10 minutes.
I could probably get a kitty time in there. I know there's, I don't know if they have a preference on kitty.
I don't know who's available.
I know Sunshine's in her little bed. I could snag her.
Yeah, you can grab her.
Actually, I can scout for Rio real quick.
Oh my gosh. Good luck. You guys hear some scuffling.
Oh, no. Pronouns.
Okay. Yeah, you're not gonna get her.
That's okay, I'll get Sunshine. Keep her real. I warned you about being first. She's on top of a bunch of color-proof printouts. But I found Sunshine. Sunshine is probably going to be all dead and floppy because I start thinking she's a puppet. But she was curled up in her. I have a little kitty cat bed at the foot of my easel. Oh. Sunshine. She petted my face.
Jasmine, do you know where Boss Castle is?
No, I don't
I'm about
think so.
to Google it.
Is it in England?
I don't know. Someone said, have you been to Boss Castle? And I said, where? And they said, it's a village. And I was like,
oh, is it a place like how you were talking about Atlas Obscura earlier? Is it like one of those coral castle things where some cool reclusive artist kind of builds something out of stuff? Or is it like a castle?
Okay.
Well, Sunshine's drooling.
It's a village in England.
Sunshine's drooling, man.
Ew.
Oh. Wipe that back in me. Wash my hands. She was asleep.
It's about 4 miles from Tintagel up the coast. We haven't been to
Oh,
Tintagel.
no,
yet.
I've never been to Tintagel.
This will be our
that's
first
what
time.
I'm so excited about. I haven't been there before.
Yeah, so we haven't been there.
Let's see. You see the kitty? The Sunshine. trying to get her to look at the camera, but she's really asleep.
They said if she's
Baby.
drooling, get her teeth checked.
Oh, no, she was asleep. She holds her mouth open a little bit when she's asleep. Until it's not like Mama Wolf. Mama Wolf did that because she lost one of her fangs. And she drooled. But she was an elderly kitty. Sunshine isn't elderly yet.
Aw.
And her teeth are good. She had her teeth checked about a year ago. You probably need to go back, don't you? Sunshine loves going to the vet. Don't our kitties all love going to the vet, Maddie?
No, they all hate it so much.
Yes, they do. Here you go, baby. You go up there. My little love. My little love. Where you going, honey? Yeah, she was sleeping and holding her mouth kind of closed, so.
I drool when I sleep sometimes, too.
Yes, you do. Oh, here you go, Diane. Hey, little otter. You want to sit there? Huh? Anyways, I've kind of shaded in this, so I want to start putting some highlights where the gold embroidery is going to be on top of her dress there. And you get some of that quinacridone nickel azo gold. Yeah.
I'm gonna make some coffee.
Okay, baby.
And I think that the heat will kind of help.
Okay. Yeah.
I drink water, but...
When I feel sick, I always drink tea, but coffee is probably the same. Tea is like coffee for clever people, huh? Sorry.
Ooh.
Oh.
You don't want to insult.
No, I'm not insulting anybody. I'm quoting something.
You're quoting Dr. Who, kind of.
Kind of. Not a very good quote, but not an accurate quote.
Not even no, sad isn't happy.
It's happy for smart people. No. No, I have nothing against coffee. I have a system like a hummingbird, and it just does not work well with me. And Matt bought that. You bought that death coffee that people at Twitch told you to get, didn't you?
It was okay. I mean, it seemed the same to me.
Really? See, yeah. I probably couldn't touch that. That'd probably knock me over. Was it one that you put in the machine thing?
Yeah, it was for Keurig.
Oh, Keurig, yeah.
I'll let that do its thing. I'm going to use the restroom.
Okay,
too.
Baby. Maybe blow your nose or something. Okay, baby. Or Maddie. I kind of half expected him not to want to do Twitch today because he woke up and he was just like a mess of snot. I can say that because he's going upstairs, but. So, I don't know how well you can see this. I'll scoot up a little bit more. So, I'm basically doing the opposite of what I did on her bodice. So, I want kind of gold designs on a darker background. Now, the thing that makes this a bit more tricky is I've got a reflection happening. Like, this kind of green line that we painted, I think a couple episodes ago, I took some green and water and kind of smudged it across there. I want this to match here, and it's not exact because I didn't really... If I was planning ahead, I would have like maybe, or did better at drawing, I'd get like carbon paper and copy it over, but I'm just gonna freehand it, and that will help make it look a little looser, a little bit more painterly. At least that's what I tell myself. So every time I do a stroke up here, I want to do kind of the opposite down here. So like if this one is slightly below that there, I want it to be slightly above that here. And vice versa. I've got a little smudgy bit here. I'll do a little smudgy bit up here. It's kind of thinking in mirror image, but being a little bit less precise when it's in the water reflection. So if I put a little flower, it looks like I started to draw a flower there when I sketched it. I'll put another one right here underneath the water level, but I won't make that one as precise. I want it to look a bit more like it's underwater, basically. So I'll paint it a bit faster. I'll make it look not as exact. Like if this was a square, I'd make that like a oval down here. There's another flower, so I'll make a flower very close. And sometimes when there is the, again, not to bring up Bob Ross again, there is the idea that if you're painting reflection in the water, it's supposed to look exactly like what's on top of it, but you just smudge it around afterwards. You can't really do that with acrylic paints because they dry. That's already dry. I can't smudge that around later. So what I do is I just paint it a little bit looser when it's in the water, and it also gets more and more abstract as it gets near the bottom. And in a way that will make it look more realistic than, it's not a mirror, it's water, and or actually it's absinthe in this, but that way it will start to have more of a liquid reflection, and that's part of the refractive element of water that you're seeing there, or fluids in general.
Jasmine, are you painting abstract?
No, not this time, honey. That'd be not a sad day, but probably a busy day. It's like, oh, this is kind of my abstract expressionist Jackson Pollock sort of phase here.
All right, I am back.
No, I'm showing underneath the water, or the green liquid here, how I don't paint it as precisely as above the water. I was putting kind of hints of that, and that will make it look, again, more realistic. Also, I'll take some of that same color and just make some random little dots and dashes over here. Because if you are standing in water or on top of water, you will see some of those colors reflected, because it's kind of like ripples or waves are moving through the water, or who knows. But I mean, this isn't a real situation. You're not going to be in a fancy boudoir here with, you know, water up to your chest. That's not typically going to happen. It's more of an idealized portrait than a journalistic sort of scene. Now that there, I don't know what I planned for the sketch, but I'm going to make a little smudgy flower there too. You know, see, that started off, I put it down there, and that's already dry. I can't even smudge it.
Jasmine,
yeah.
We have a... we haven't really... I mean, we've been to Ireland, kind of.
I've been to Ireland many times, but only the airport. Only the airport. It's embarrassing how many times I've been to England, or to Ireland. But
secret about the Irish airport in Dublin. It was Dublin, right?
Yeah. Well, we've been to Shannon. Oh golly, we've been mostly Dublin, but we've been to Shannon because usually we stop over from Boston.
So Dublin, even if you get there like at 5 in the morning, you can get a big pint of Guinness.
Yeah, one can do that. You can do it at Breck even. Yeah.
Yes, they've got it ready for you.
It's 9 a.m. somewhere. Yeah.
So my experience with Ireland really has been, I go to an airport, I drink a Guinness, then I fly to England.
Then you fly to England, which is like 25 minutes. Or yeah, we've actually laid over there.
I think Lufthansa.
Lufthansa goes through there. KLM goes through there. There are a few airlines that, even if you're going to like Germany or France or something, you have to stop in Ireland at some point. But it's nothing against Ireland. It just hasn't really come up. We just usually end up there in a layover. Slept on a few benches there, haven't you, Maddie?
Like a bum.
I have a picture of you and your mom both sleeping on benches in Dublin.
That's what happens.
That was it. yeah.
All right.
Such is life.
Let's do this raffle. This is for
and this is for Strangely Lonely. The pin.
And I'll do
I always try to do one pin every time.
I'll do the Moobot stuff.
Okay, yeah, we'll do Moobot stuff. And
oh my gosh.
Not the same person who won last time, is it?
No, Nigel won. How funny.
Nigel! Oh, congratulations.
He's half Irish.
Is he?
Yep.
Oh, hey! Luck of the Irish. Yeah.
But I mean,
there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So,
oh, there she is. I'd say where you can buy her, but you can't buy her.
He's won twice now.
Has he won 2 of these?
No,
or just twice in general?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think he won. Oh gosh, what was that? One of the journals or something? Maybe about 6 months ago.
I don't remember.
I probably do, but it sounds
we
creepy if I remember too
precisely. I can't remember all this stuff.
But anyways, congratulations, Nige. And I will sign the little backing board, and we will send it to you.
And if you didn't see that, I'm sure Kieran saw it.
Or Layla might have seen it, or somebody from Glastonbury might have seen it. And
Layla will probably swipe it away from him.
Yes.
Just and it'll make that noise.
I won't do that.
It'll make that noise when she swipes it.
So is that the third one?
Is the drinking age 18 in pubs in Ireland? I don't know.
You know, I am not sure what the rules are in different parts of the UK. Because sometimes if your family is there, like your parents are there, I don't know if they have a rule about that.
Here it's 21 no matter what.
Pubs are different than restaurants. So, what's up?
Here it's 21 no matter what.
Yeah, in America it's always 21 all the time. It doesn't matter if you're at your grandmother's house or not. It's just 21. But I know in some parts of Europe, Norway does not have drinking age at all, no matter what. And then there are some places if your parents are with you and it's like, hey, it's our sister's graduation day, can we have some champagne or whatever, you can do that. And then sometimes it's like, oh, you can buy it at a restaurant but not a pub, or you can go to a grocery store but you can't do it at a restaurant. And I don't know. I always think it's weird in America that you can drive so young before you figured out drinking, because I think that causes problems for a lot of people. In some parts of America, you can start driving, like if you're, not to sound all farm equipment-y, but if you like tractors or stuff on farms, you can sometimes get your permit when you're 14, but then you can't have beer until you're 21, so you're already been driving for 7 years and you don't know how beer works, and that's kind of bad for a lot of people. I'm doing a few more little hints of reflections here. A little bit of vines. I didn't really have a vine up there, so I'm going to draw it now. This is just where you get to be creative a little bit, and like, oh, I'm going to make a little soft curly Q there. I'll make a hard curly Q up here. I'll start working on the pin design shortly. I have the basic sketch down, but I'll
Jasmine,
work on that a bit more. Yeah.
Angel says, so I'm 33 and recently went out to dinner with my 64-year-old parents.
Yeah.
Red Lobster.
All right.
Tried to card me because I'm under 40.
Oh.
But I didn't have my purse on me, and they wouldn't let me have a drink.
Gosh.
I definitely don't look under 21.
I have had similar things happen.
AMC here.
Our movie theater
at Disney Springs.
Oh.
Yeah,
well, they're probably going to be
they even say,
but,
I'm sorry. And they'll do this to elderly people. I'm sorry.
Like really elderly people. Like they have their great-grandchildren and they're in a wheelchair and we
have to card you because they've really got it hammered down in those bartenders' brains.
Yeah.
Card everyone.
Well, I remember when we worked at the rainforest in Kansas City before we moved here to Florida. I don't even know if it's old enough to drink yet then, but they told us, and it's true in America, if you are a waitress or a bartender or something like that, and you're serving somebody and they're over the limit, you can be held liable if they hit somebody on the road on the way home because you served them over the limit, which is, I don't know. It's people trying to be safe, and that's good, but...
I only get carded some places around Disney. Again, if they're being careful.
Hey, I got
just
carded
their policy.
at a concert or something, didn't I? What? It was something
Well, I guess you're youngish looking, but
I don't look 22. No, sorry. Again, if you're out there, sorry, whoever said that.
But and then AMC's across the board, honestly.
I think
because
part of that
even
might be
AMC at
movie theaters
Kansas.
Well, it's Kansas and it's a movie theater. I think movie theaters in America have only recently kind of started having beer at them.
Remember the guy at a Hy-Vee store in Kansas that wouldn't sell you root beer?
This was root beer for children, like root beer. It has no alcohol in it. It's regular, like root beer, like fancy root beer, hipster root beer in little bottles. But it said root beer, contains no alcohol. And they would not sell it to me because I didn't have ID. Or Matt didn't have ID.
This was like 15 years. I wasn't there.
You weren't there? Okay. Oh, gosh. No, I was there with Kachina, who does not eat, my sister, who does not even drink. And they would not sell us plain,
and I would have been old enough.
Plain root beer. And Matt would have been old enough. I don't think I was yet, or if I was, I didn't have my ID. And they wouldn't sell us plain root beer for our birthday volleyball party. And it's like, really? I don't, I know who you're talking about.
Okay, now we got some different stories here.
Yeah.
These are funny.
It just makes me
They tried
mad.
to serve my 19-year-old nephew alcohol, but carded me. 29, it's embarrassing. I blame the height difference in facial hair.
Oh, there's that, yeah.
He's 6 foot, I'm 5 foot, but and he has no facial hair, but you have a big mustache, Amanda?
Oh,
I'm just joking.
No judgment.
Katie Tully said, I had someone to do that with ginger ale?
Ginger ale, yes.
Come
that
on.
happened. Okay, remember that happened with Amber and her friend Christina? And then
Ginger
the
ale?
opposite happened, and they bought wine coolers when they were like 14, and they did
told
not
me about
card
it.
them.
I didn't
Yes.
know her then.
That was, they were just like, okay, here you go, ma'am.
Rebel
I don't
Bell
know.
says, I was
It's
born
not
and
very
raised in
consistent.
Australia.
Oh,
Seems
okay.
the harsh sun had an effect because my friend who is the same age as me got carded at System Bolage, where you can buy alcohol here in Sweden.
Okay.
But he told me, no, you're okay. Ouch. Ooh,
Oh.
jerk. No, I'd say, honestly, my policy would be, if I was a bartender and I'm carding a lady and her friends, I'm going to card everyone. Because you don't want to get in that.
And then you want to there's women like myself of a certain age. In a way, it's almost like a compliment. It's like, wow, we don't think you're 21 yet, you know.
Yeah. And I don't care personally.
Yeah.
It just seems a pain in the
No,
butt
I've
to
been
pull out my wallet.
with my stepmother around, and we've been carded before, and she's my stepmother. She's 18 years older than me, and we are both well.
Yeah, and she's
very youthful looking.
She's very youthful looking, but damn, she's not. I mean, darn, she's not 21 looking.
Well, neither. The fact that she is exactly. I mean, she's my sister's mom. She's 18, 19 years older than me, and I was well over the drinking age by then. How would that even be possible?
Okay, so this is interesting.
This is in America.
Girl in the Mitten. Universal Studios Orlando wouldn't let us drink with IDs. Since our Michigan licenses say that they aren't considered federal identity.
Oh, you've got like the Missouri thing. That's like how for a while, or maybe even still, if you don't have a passport now, you can't get on some planes in America if you are Michigan, Mississippi, or Missouri. It's unrelated.
Luckily, Florida's system is up to date.
Florida's is very up to date because we live on the coast and we're by a lot of other countries. But no, my family in Missouri are like, oh, I guess we got to get passports now.
Simply Crystal Clear says, I always get carded unless I'm with my fiance. He's only 5 days older than me, but has premature gray hair, and I think they've only seen him get carded like once. Yeah, guys get carded. Guys probably get carded. They look older. They age quicker. Because we don't wear makeup and stuff.
We had sometimes I look younger when I don't wear makeup, I think. But we had a friend in high school who was prematurely balding. He was like 16, and it's always like, he gets to go buy the beer, and he'd like carry in like a diaper bag or something, look like a harried dad, and try to buy stuff. And yeah, don't try it at home, kids. This is all.
Katie Tully says, it comes in a green bottle, so the cashier at Fresh Market thought it was beer. It isn't. Also, that sort of green glass. Yeah. Ellie said, there's a bunch of these stories.
Yeah, it's a thing.
We went to Las Vegas for my 30th and couldn't get an alcoholic drink from Coyote Ugly because I left my ID in the hotel room. Is that weird? Is that a real place? Bar that had a movie?
Oh, sorry. I didn't know it was a real place.
I don't know if it's a real place. Do they dance? Man, that pissed me off if people started dancing and I was trying to drink.
To be fair, that has happened at an Irish place here in Florida.
No, right in front of me. Though.
Oh, okay.
I don't want them kicking over my drink.
No,
I'm also from Michigan. I'm so glad I know this now, says Amanda Rabbit.
Oh, okay.
Kate Harmon said, I get carded for everything, our movies and mature games.
Yeah.
Hey, you shouldn't be playing mature games, okay?
No, I've had happen to have movies a few times, and I kind of... The kid I was talking to, the person who was selling me the tickets, I kind of went off on him. I'm like, I'm probably old enough to be your mom at least once over. You don't think I'm 17 and can see this whatever movie? And I don't know.
Ricky says, my sister was 14 and bought me a beer at a gig because I had no ID on me, and they didn't believe that I was old enough for beer. I thought when you're born in Germany, don't they immediately hand you Stein after you're born?
Well, I ran away to Europe when I was 15. I went to Germany, and one of the first things I did was go to a gas station and buy a bottle of Bacardi. So they let me buy it, much to my detriment. But
Amy says I get annoyed when I don't get asked for ID. Now
oh, see, that's when it becomes a compliment. Eh?
Sexy Tink says on my 30th birthday I got carded. Our legal age is 18. I also had a big birthday banner with my age on it.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
That's really funny. Yeah. Ian says things were a bit less strict years ago. Yeah. I went to my first age 18 an over nightclub when I was 14. That sounds like something you'd do, Ian.
Yeah.
Lady Dracula says I got carded at Disney. I had to run back to my room to get my ID. I'm 43. That's what. Yeah, Disney is careful.
I think
it's not.
I don't think it's Disney.
It's a policy.
But
it's not how you look.
I think it's part of the theme parks and being Orlando, and also being in this part of Florida. We kind of get hit with the spring break crowd, and they're worried about kids being underage and coming here and they don't want to get sued, basically. So Universal, Disney, movie theaters, a lot of things like that. But I kind of feel like saying, hey, I live here. I'm not, like, here for college, obviously. So
Girl in the Mitten's going to bring passports for MegaCon.
that's, hey, there you go. Can't hurt.
Coyote Ugly Israel.
Okay, I never saw the movie, but I remember seeing previews, and it did look like people
cheesy.
dancing.
Sorry, guys. It's
No,
it's wonderful.
fine. If people want to dance on bars, that's good on them.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Like the Irish step dancing and things like that, because it kind of seems old school.
Yeah.
But I don't want a bunch of girls kicking over beers.
Well, that's why you probably don't go to that bar. There are different sorts of bars. There are some bars, Mandy. Sometimes ladies take their tops off. I'll tell you about those when you're older.
Says
but, yeah.
She'd be upset if they kicked her whiskey over.
Yeah,
There'd be a fight.
Mm-hmm.
We'd see what Shaylee's made of.
Yeah.
And German people, please confirm. Oh, I'm not sure what that's a reference to.
Oh, confirm that age-wise.
You're born with a stein in your hand?
Oh, born with a stein in your hand? I'm not. I mean, I'm part German, and I kind of.
Lady Dragon says, I bought Witcher,
kind of
the game, to my godson in Germany. He had to be at home since the game was mature.
Oh, it was MA rated.
That's the policy.
Yeah. But I think it's funny in America. It's like I've spent a lot of time in Germany, and you'll see commercials or even billboards or on the front of magazines. Sometimes you'll see somebody without their top off, etc., and it's not a big deal. But in America, they would be like, no, that's X-rated, that's that, and that's that. But you can like totally watch some forensic show where somebody's head gets blown up, and they'll show it to you in great detail. I don't understand why one is okay and one's not. I don't know.
That's
maybe I'm
something
old-fashioned
or
new-fashioned.
Whether people here believe it or not, as much as I talk about true crime, I have a squeamishness to me.
Man is very, very squeamish. Yeah. You did not like the stuffed little ducklings at the Dark Art Emporium.
When we went to the Dark Arts Emporium and put the link up.
Yeah.
I'll put the link up again since we mentioned them.
If
you want your own little stuffed duckling, you can have one.
They're doing a taxodermy class on rats, apparently. They're already dead.
The stuffed duckling.
I'm not going to eat them.
But what bothered me most was the snake.
That
was in the spirits.
That's why I was surprised you were surprised by that, because when we were in Vietnam, people had those in
I don't even almost
drinks
want to
you
talk
drink.
about it.
They had little dead snakes. Again, Matt and I are vegetarians. We're not gonna drink that, but we had our my brother-in-law was there.
Besides me and Jasmine drank the snake juice.
Yeah,
I'm not joking.
And they were trying to bring it. They brought it back through customs somehow. I'm like, I didn't even want to bring back rice wine or something through customs. I was like, I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble. And they've got like these not snakes, but like hooded cobras.
Doesn't it? It basically makes a whiskey, like a snake whiskey.
And it's like, no.
So imagine cobras submerged in this
99% liquor somehow.
Yeah. And then they drink it.
And they were bringing it back through customs. I'm like, I'm not helping you with that one.
And I'm telling you, everyone in the group besides me and Jasmine had some.
Yeah, I did not. I don't know. It's definitely not vegan, but I did not consider it. There's enough other things.
I bet you individually those people would not have had it, but in the moment it probably seemed correct to them.
Well, it is a local thing, and I'm never going to tell people what to do and what not to do.
But it looks very much like a spirits jar,
but
which indeed it was.
Yeah.
They were spirits.
Yeah.
So it was preserving the horrible little dead cobra. And you can
drink it. Was probably just formaldehyde, and it was probably meant to be a medical.
People here are saying it's gross and wrong, but I'm telling you, people that I thought normally would have thought it was gross wrong, they were drinking it.
Fine.
Oh, there you go.
Tell people what to do.
I didn't. I was scared of it. It made me sad.
No,
and then we saw a live snake later, and he was cute.
Oh yeah, they do have a lot of snakes there. What's that, baby?
And that made me even more sad that we were petting the snake after that.
That's how people are about a lot of things, so that's.
But hey, some of our friends that drank that might be in the room right now, so I just want to say hi to you guys.
I hope you made it through customs. No, I was more than anything, other than obviously wanting to eat dead snakes. I just was like, wow, I've been like taken aside at airports for bringing lip balm or toothpaste or something, or saline solution in my purse. I don't want to bring a jar this big with a king cobra filled with alcohol with me back on the airplane. You know,
a certain person in our group get a little jar.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amanda Rabbit said, I love watching Jasmine blend paint for highlights on that painting.
Yeah. I'll show you close up of it here so you know what I'm doing, because I'm going to switch over to painting my pin design. Got a decent amount of work on this, not a whole lot, but basically if I'm considering the line to be here, if I turn it sideways this way, sometimes even I paint this way and make it vertically, and that way I can tell I'm doing it. It's like, hey, there's a flower there, there's a flower there, there's like a little vine there, there's a little vine there, and that way I know when I'm making a reflection, it's gonna look like a combination of the skirt being through a transparent liquid, but also reflecting off the surface. Because you can't forget the fact that once something hits a fluid, you're still gonna see the object through there. It's not just gonna be a perfect mirror reflection. She's not like this tall and has no legs and is reflecting on a mirror. You're going to see what's under there, which is why it's a little bit more, and Matt, again, picked on me earlier for using the word abstract, but I mean loosely.
I was just
I know, hun. Just kind of loosely extrapolating from that design down to here, so it looks like it's turning into a big smudgy kind of thing, but you can tell it's supposed to be reflecting. One of the final things I'll do on this, which will probably be before my next Twitch broadcast, which will be next Sunday, and I'll show you guys then, when she's all done, probably, hopefully, because I have to send her to Kansas City. But I will put some highlights. Some of the brightest highlights will be on the water, so you can tell, or the absinthe, that you can tell that's actually fluid there, and it's not just weird green fog, or like that part of her dress is green, or some weird hands over there. I wanted people to know that's her reflecting, but you're seeing through the water, the fluid, and you're also seeing her dress.
I think it's very obvious.
Yeah, it does. It will look more so when I'm done. Again, just because something's obvious to one person doesn't mean that everybody will get it. So I always,
you know, you're very right. I hear people say, I mean, again, I don't want to pick on people in general, but when Jasmine art museums, when people are observing art, I hear them say some of the funniest wrong things ever. Mm-hmm. And you know what?
You can make a book out of it. It's like silly things, or a meme at least. It's like silly things I've heard in museums.
I maybe say some of those things if I didn't know any better.
Yeah, that's how you start. That's how you learn. Yeah. No, that's nothing. Yeah.
Amanda Rabbit says, I struggle with reflections in my own paintings, so I'm learning a lot in here.
Yeah. But a lot of people will tell you, again, like I was talking about carbon paper, and I'll tell you a good use for carbon paper, because I'll show you on my pin design and how that makes sense. A lot of people would say, hey, I'm going to draw or paint up here, and then flip it over and trace it again over here. If you do that, it's going to look like a mirror. It's not going to look natural. It's going to look like, basically, like you photocopied it and made a copy of it. I do it a lot looser, and that's going to look more like you were in a bathtub. Like if you look at your legs in a bathtub when you're like halfway submerged, your legs are all kind of wobbly and going in and out. You don't want it to look exactly like your legs, or it looks like you're in aspic or something, or like you're in Jello. It's not going to
Oh my gosh, right. I'm gonna post about that aspic.
Don't post about aspic.
Not here.
Okay.
No.
You mean post on your Patreon?
On Patreon or Facebook or something, because it's weird stuff.
Well, this is her for now, and next time you see her, she'll probably be done because I have to mail her away, but I'm going to switch over to working on my very recently sketched pin design, and she will be the April pin of the month, so you will see her in a second.
That's 5:20.
That's fine. I'm going to get started.
I'm still trying to learn depth. Can't even attempt reflections yet. Oh... No kidding, Ren Girl. I would stay away from reflection, except for maybe like Bob Ross style ones.
Well, I talked about that while I was working.
Yeah, yours are not Bob Ross style ones.
Bob Ross those are large bodies of water. This is a small amount of water in her. You know, that's why. It's
right.
Large, but...
Yeah, yours are much more close up.
Unless it is a painting.
That's true.
Well, Sunshine's on the aquarium.
Sunshine. What a horrible cat. Who's the best kitty we have right now? Rio?
Probably one of those outside. Rio.
Oh, I saw a beautiful black kitty today. In the backyard.
The little white chest?
Yeah, I'm thinking about snatching them.
Snatch all those kitties.
Bob Ross was my first painting attempt. Still love Bob's videos.
My first official one really was. People were asking me earlier about what medium I worked in. That's when I worked in oils. Got some spelling bee money and went to the local Michael's Arts and Crafts and bought some Bob Ross tapes. We had a terrible TV, and one of the only channels we had was PBS. So I was like,
cool.
Bob Ross, that's how I learned to paint. What's that, babe?
I said, oh, cool, the pin design.
Yeah, I want to make sure I get on this because this is supposed to be the April pin of the month, and I want to make sure I'm pretty far along on this pretty soon. Also, we were talking about doing copies of something, and I wanted to show people. This isn't something a method I use really in my paintings, but it's very helpful for things like doing a pin design after the fact, after you've already done a painting. A lot of people sketch ahead of time, so this might seem backwards to you, but this is a good example of, I'll show you 3 different ways that, and it will eventually be 4, that I'll have a painting and it will turn into a different design.
Okay, Ren Girl just freaked out.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, y'all don't know.
Oh, okay, everyone's freaking out. Okay.
Okay, this is the. Hey, I'll show you the.
Okay.
In case people can't tell,
Shirley has a story that just scrolled past, and I was going to read it.
Oh, sorry.
Everyone's excited.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have made a big trumpet noise or something.
There's your trumpet noise.
There's a trumpet noise.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, guys. That's gross.
You didn't do that on the microphone, did you?
No, I back away from it. Hopefully it's not too awful, guys. Let me read Shaylee's story.
Yeah.
I have a story for you, Jasmine and Matt. So yesterday we stopped by Wells, which of course is by Glastonbury.
Yes, we've driven through it, but not really spent time.
Yeah, it's next to Bath. Have you been to Wells Cathedral? We have. In fact, we could still have been there as the staff locked us in.
Oh my goodness, really?
Oh my goodness, those great big wooden doors. I banged my fist against them until a tourist heard my cries.
That's awful.
That's
They're
excellent.
probably like fortified like for armies and stuff. I mean, those are probably proper doors.
Oh, thank you, April.
I've seen it from the outside. It looks lovely. I mean, when we've taken like cars basically like from the airport like in Bristol over to Glastonbury, they usually go through Bath and Wells at some point, but for those who this was probably before I started painting on Twitch, or did I do this one on Twitch?
What's that, Monkey?
Did I do this one on Twitch? Or was it before I started doing Twitch? I think it was probably before.
I think that's before.
I think I started working on the other Vermeer one, the Elms Through a Vermeer Glass. That's when I did. Sorry, it has a similar window because it's
huge
Vermeer.
Fan of Vermeer.
I'm a
as
big
I'm sure
Vermeer
many of you
fan.
are.
A lot of people are. I'm a tremendous Vermeer fan.
I'm very happy that you guys are enjoying this.
How many paintings I've seen of it, but anyways, this is it's a printout. I've sold the original, but of my painting of Girl with the Pearl Earring, which is a very famous painting, one of probably the most famous paintings. Even people who don't know a lot of artwork will say, "Hey, that's the Girl with the Pearl Earring." And then there was the Scarlett Johansson movie, and she was in that, and of course the book that went with it that was mostly fictionalized. We don't really know a whole lot about Vermeer, which is part of the fun, I suppose, in making up stories about him. But she also wrote the book, was it Beautiful Creatures? Not Heavenly Creatures. It's very different than that. About the lady who discovered, the wonderful prehistoric beasts in the Devonian coast. Like a lot of the sea monsters that you hate, Maddie, the real ones.
Which ones?
Oh, a lot of ichthyosaurs and things like that.
Oh, no, don't talk about that.
No, she wrote a book about the lady who was a paleontologist who discovered those. And
I'm also afraid of...
Anyway, she wrote the book about...
prehistoric sea monsters.
Yeah, I also like prehistoric sea monsters.
Okay,
anyways.
People are singing, they're rickrolling the room.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, didn't that happen to us when you were doing your radiomancy?
I don't remember.
In Malibu? Before we went to the show?
I don't remember.
It was with Uber when we were driving. It was when we were going to David's show.
I think we did hear that one.
Yeah. That was like the only time I've been in an Uber and I liked the music, but that was not one of the songs I liked. They played a lot of Beatles and stuff, and then they had that one. But,
I don't hate that song as much as the internet.
I don't hate it. I just feel nothing towards it. So that's not music I want to talk about, really. But, and that's fine. But anyways, I did my version of the Girl with the Pearl Earring, and this was it was 2 years ago, so 2017. So it was before I was probably. I thought I did part of it up here. Maybe not.
I don't know.
Or did I work on this in Kansas City?
People are talking about the movie with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, that's what
I saw it,
about.
but I don't even remember it.
Yeah, it's Again, it's very fictionalized. They did a good job, I think, of making that part of Holland looking like how it probably looked then.
Probably.
And I think they intentionally put some kind of Easter eggs in there, like, hey, that's kind of like the lady with the vase, and that's like the one with the piano, and and that's kind of cool. And I read the book, and like I said, I read the other books that I think I've read all the books she's written.
I know
they're all fictionalized
Anya,
accounts.
that it's a famous Dutch painting.
Yeah.
Vermeer
is the artist on this.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Vermeer. I was talking about the movie. Oh yeah. I didn't remember. I didn't remember what happened in it.
All of her, he painted some paintings.
Because Vermeer stars in it, but it's like this is fictionalized.
The thing is, nobody knows much about Vermeer. People barely know anything about him. So all of her books really are about people that you don't know a whole lot about.
But she wants to know if this will be the April pin.
Kind of, what's that?
This will be.
This is the April pin. Yeah, so that's why we're getting sidetracked. But this is the painting of mine it's based off of. I kind of combined some Vermeer paintings in here. You can probably recognize the bowl of fruit, and these are only for art nerds here, and the certain sort of tablecloth rug that you see in everything, and one of the traditional Vermeer windows. This took me forever to paint. If you think Absinthe Reflections took a while, this took me forever to paint, and this was about this size. It was 12 by 12. Or no, it was a 12 by 12. I did it for the Corey Helfer Gallery for the 12 by 12 show. Anyways, so I love this.
That lasted all. I think it was sold before it got there.
Oh yeah, they typically are there. But this is shoot, I should have printed out a picture of the regular Vermeer one. It's not hard to find. Search girl pearl earring online, and you'll see the Vermeer. His painting has a plain black background. It was a very small painting. I think
Brenda was more excited about this one than Luna.
Oh hey, all right. Well, good. But part of the reason I chose this, I wanted to do it as a pen. This is where I'm talking about more behind the scenes technique here. Not that it's really technique, but process more. Do I have it? Oh, I'm going to feel stupid if I don't have it. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay. So, when I do a painting, I often like to do, how I paint first. I don't really draw and do realistic drawings. I'm thinking about doing that now because I keep talking to other artist friends who do that, and I think their work is probably more visually successful than mine. But I like to do line art afterwards, like, hey, look at the painting, have the line art. Sometimes a graphic design people, like a coloring book company, will do it. Sometimes I'll do it. Sometimes my sister Sonia will do it. And this is an example of a coloring page that we would do based off of the painting. So here's my original painting that didn't really have a sketch. So we had to do the lines afterwards and simplify it. Because if you make a coloring page that looks like that, there aren't really a lot of solid areas to color in.
Line art wise.
Yeah, line art wise. So here's the line art that comes. This was 2 years after I did the painting. To basically do the outlines of it. Also did the grayscale version, which is fairly easy because we just say, hey, scan in the painting, Jasmine, and take the colors out. And this is it after it's colored in. But these are all coloring pages you can get at Patreon, by the way, not to be a commercial at you. Anyway, so we look at the line art for it. And that is a coloring page. And obviously it's way more simple than that. But in a way, it is helpful to me when I'm designing the pin because I have to look at the lines and think, hey, what is important in this painting and what isn't? If you have the outlines in it, since you've got to turn it in from something that looks like this to something that looks like this, that only has, 5 colors and has a black outliner and everything. Especially a Vermeer that is mostly reliant on things like color shifts and lighting and stuff like that. So I've taken the line art and looked at this when I don't usually use pencils much, but Matt got me a little thing full of pencils, so I looked at the line art. I had to make it a little bit bigger because when we shrink it down, it has to be the same proportion, but it's very, very close to this. And I've kind of looked at this, and I've changed a few things on it because if you look at the original painting, and also if you look at the line art for the coloring page, it's a square, which is not a very interesting pin. If I were to include the window and the curtain and the fruit and the tablecloth and the chair and the room, if you shrunk that down to 1.5 inches, you wouldn't necessarily be able to tell what's going on. So I want to make sure I have the girl with the pearl earring, and that's the main part of it. So what I've done here is I've kind of sketched / traced over. I made it a little bit bigger, but it's very close to that with a pencil. But I didn't want it to be a big L-shaped kind of square around her, because that's not very interesting if you're going to put it on your scarf and wear it to a fancy art show or something like that. So what I've done here is I've kind of, and I'll probably be working on this a bit because I want it to look good. I've drawn some little scalloped edges in here. They don't have to be,
We're talking about the Vermeer painting.
Yeah.
And Jane says it's tiny.
It's not big. I think it's like a 9x12 or
and
something.
It's in
it's at the Hague.
Marit Shoes in the Hague.
Yeah, the Hague. Yeah, it's at the Hague.
I'd like to see that one.
I'd love to go to the Hague. I'm always trying to get to go out to the Hague. I'm trying to find art friends to go out there, or find a reason to go out there for some reason. I'd love to go there. I've not been there yet, and they've got several Vermeers there. But the Vermeer painting, again, I feel dumb for not printing it out, but if you Google Vermeer girl with pearl earring, and don't look at the photos, well, look all you want at the pictures of Scarlett Johansson, she's lovely, but if you look at the picture that Vermeer painted, it's just her with a solid black background. I just threw in the other things to make it look like a Dutch interior, basically. But for taking something that is mostly based off of very subtle kind of shading and color shifts and warm and cool tones and a lot of chiaroscuro sort of stuff happening, to try to turn that into a coloring page is hard enough. And then to take that, cut down the character, and then put it into 6 colors. This is part of my process when people say, hey, will you make girls a pearl earring as a pin? And I'm like, maybe. We'll see. I'll see what I can do. And I've fooled around like this with dozens of paintings of mine that have just not worked out. People are like, can you do faces of fairies paintings? I'm like, oh, I can, but they're square, and square is weird, and then it's a weird square, and it's not shaped like anything.
44 centimeters by 39 centimeters.
Okay, so
I gotta convert that.
It's a little bit bigger than this one here. It's a bit bigger than the piece I'm working on here.
That is pretty small.
Yeah, it's not big. When people go to museums and say, oh, the Mona Lisa is way smaller than I thought it was, or something like that, they're used to some paintings at the museum being like 38 feet wide and 20 feet high. Yeah, talk about Mona Lisa specifically.
The large format French pieces, David
pieces.
At
the Louvre, you've got this,
you could fit 3 beds on them.
Yeah, you've got these massive, large-scale French academic sort of paintings, or you've got like the wedding at Cana, or
the Oath of the Rorschach. Oh my gosh, yeah, right.
The wedding feast at Cana is literally in the same room as the Mona Lisa. And it's like, what the F? Yeah, and then the Mona Lisa, hi guys,
honestly,
come get your selfie with me.
The wedding feast at Cana is much more incredible to me.
That's a hard. It depends on.
I think Da Vinci's genius. I like to take Da Vinci's genius as a whole. I like to take it as a whole. The fact that he can paint like that's amazing, and he can do other stuff.
Hey, he did less paintings than Vermeer did, and that's saying something.
Did he do the wedding feast at Cana? I don't know if he.
I'm sure he could have done. Oh yes, Or
is he blowing up bladders for
one's amusement? Yes. He did write a book of jokes. This is a real thing. They were practical jokes meant to play at parties. If you look up Leonardo da Vinci, and I'm not joking, if you look it up, it's true. Now we're talking about jokes, but so, and he also worked as a civil engineer for with the weapons and tanks and helicopters and that sort of stuff too. And he did set dressing for plays and designed the costumes for dances and stuff like that. So he was a Renaissance man. But no, if you're talking about the wedding feast, was that magic noise? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, you guys are awesome for listening to me blather on. But at any rate, if I look at my painting here, again, in my initial version of this, we've got the painting, and it's a square. And if I were to try to make that as an outline, and if I put the window in there, and I put the bowl of apples, I don't know if you can even see this, This took me forever. I did it in black and white, and I glazed probably 150 different colors on top of this very, very slowly. There's like a blue and white plate there. It almost looks like a photo, doesn't it? But it's based off of different Dutch interiors at the time that were not in the original painting, but I wanted to try to make a square out of it because it was for a 12 by 12 show, and I had to paint something that was a square that was 12 inches by 12 inches. Anyways, we cut that down to the lines. These are basically the outlines that we use for the coloring page. And when we do a pen, we are talking about physical pieces of metal that are stamped out. So I've got to look at something like this and say, hey, cut it down into 1.5 inches of metal, do outlines, and make it recognizable. So obviously on this one, I want to mostly focus on the face. If you think about the character, it's like I say character, I guess it's a portrait. That's part of the story of Maddie. If you forgot, we watched it really late at night. The girl with the pearl earring. I think he was kind of having an affair with a maidservant who was living there. Which is not necessarily true, which is part of the problem I have with the story. It's like they don't know enough about Vermeer to even know how he spent his day. You know, they don't know if he had affairs with people or not. That's just kind of, you know, not purple prose, but something I don't know. It's extrapolating a lot from the facts that you have. Like, he was born then. He had 2 children. He had a wife. He bought a house, you know, and trying to make a story around it. But she does a good job of it.
It's like if people would make a story about you
1,000 years from now, if people were like to say, yes, and Jasmine was a person, and we
think she had this husband named
She had
Matt.
A car. She had something to do with some Matt, and we don't know. Her name was Becket-Griffith. That might have been her brother because his last name is Beckett. Also, you know, they don't know.
But she painted a bunch of girls.
But she painted some certain amount of ladies, and
she was a man hater.
What?
No, a man hater.
Oh, I thought you said plant eater because I am. But
she was a plant eater.
I am a plant eater.
Her nickname was Littlefoot.
Some men are
and
fine.
she had a friend Sarah.
I have very small feet.
Oh,
you're talking about the dinosaurs.
Yeah,
yes.
Petrie. I love Petrie.
I know how dinosaurs produce.
Petrie's cute.
Anyways,
they made like 7 of those.
Huh?
They made like 7 of those.
I don't know. I saw one of them at one of those summer school things where you have to go look at movies for a certain amount of time during the summer. And so I'm looking at the main character here. But the problem is, if you see a square around something, if I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to take this basic line art here and cut it into a pen, you're going to have a weird kind of triangular pen. And the point when I'm designing, not the main point, but part of the point when I design pens is I want them to match the other pens. So if you look at, oh golly gee, let me see. If I look at other pins of mine, like, oh, well, that's her. You can see her legs and her arms. That's a good shape for a pen. For here, so maybe if you go back, like maybe, I don't know, 8 episodes or something, or 5 episodes, you might see her when I painted the line art for her. It's like, oh, well, I have turned her in from a whole character into her shoulders, her arms, holding a pen, because it's a pen, but her here, it's obviously a portrait, but I kind of end the bottom by putting little cupcakes around it. She is lovely, the one we gave away earlier. Sorry, everybody, you can't buy her, but we already gave her away to somebody like an hour ago, but she was another one that was kind of shoulders up in a rectangle, but I just made kind of a Celtic design because I had a book of copyright-free Celtic borders that are from like 500 years ago or something, and I made the circle around there, and I just painted a circle and put the little kind of knotwork on it, so that makes it an interesting shape. So if you're wearing a shirt, or you've got something you put on your coat, or you're just collecting them, it makes a certain amount of shape. And again, with her, I kind of ended the bottom of the pin by putting the ferret's little feet on it. So that's always a thing. It's like if I paint a lot of portrait style female figurative artwork from the shoulders up. So if I'm doing that with something like this, it's hard to say, hey, there's just a flat line. It's not going to look aesthetic. It's not going to look pleasing to the eye if I just put a big L-shaped line. So what I've started to do, which is a bit of a, again, everybody else has made up stories about Vermeer, I might as well make up one. I've taken this is the part you can tell I've painted, as opposed to copying over by looking at the color, my own coloring book line art here, I've done some kind of curlicues that almost look Rococo, but they're not. These are, if anybody knows anything about Vermeer, he was born in Delft, D-E-L-F-T, which is a place in contemporary Netherlands, Holland at the time, that was where the origin of blue and white pottery came from, as far as Europeans go. Obviously in China they've had it for a long time, and then they redid it in England a couple hundred years later. But Delft, if you think about some of my Blue Willow series that are the British version of that, like Porcelina or Blue Willow Dragonlings or Blue Willow Fairy or Blue Willow Skull, any of those I did for my Corey Helfer Gallery show, you see that blue and white sort of pattern. I'm going to paint these blue and white and kind of finish off her character as that, but using the same blue and the white that are in her scarf and in her eyes. And that is how I'm going to finish her, because otherwise I don't know how to take something like this and make it into a 6 or 7 color pin with black outlines all over it. So I've already kind of done my main outlining looking at this. Again, it's very close to this. I would have carbon papered it, but I want it to be a bit bigger because I try to keep these 8 by 10, and that makes the proportions of the pins more similar. So if you look at this one and this one, they're kind of about the same size. If I were to do one like on a 16 by 20, maybe it wouldn't be the right proportion, or if I did a square one, it wouldn't quite be right. I mean, I did a little bit when I do sidewaysy ones, but I'm keeping these here for when I start choosing the colors. But this is kind of just it is not super symmetrical, but she's part of the reason I think she is just got that kind of mystery, sort of not quite Mona Lisa look about her, is because she's off center a little bit. It isn't a full frontal sort of portrait like you'd get it like a mugshot or a school portrait or your yearbook picture. She's kind of looking over her shoulder like, oh, hi guys. And it's kind of captured her in a moment, which was not a thing that really happened very much in portraiture back then.
We're about 15 minutes to our next raffle.
Sorry.
Jasmine, would you like to show off the next raffle?
Which one is it? Is it the...
Wine glasses.
Oh, can you hand them to me?
Of course.
Because I can't reach them from here.
I don't want to...
Anyway, sorry. Art nerding out here, but I'm just explaining why I put curlicues around her. Okay.
That's okay, we just got raffles too.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So we've got next raffle are the beautiful wine glasses.
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
And we'll show them again shortly.
We will. Get her here. And her here. And these are glass that are plated with silver inside. So you can actually drink out of them. You cannot put them in the dishwasher. But you can hand wash them, correct?
Yeah, and you can sign. I
found a pen that I can sign the bottom of them, so you can use them for magic chalice or do something cool with them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Why not? Yeah. So I'm gonna put her here when I look at this, and I'm also gonna put this here because even though I drew out the lines before, I might want to reference the coloring book page again. You think I would know it because I painted it to begin with, but again, it was like a couple years ago, so.
I think I'll go ahead and put up the link for the wine glasses.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can buy those beautiful wine glasses we just showed. You can buy them anywhere in the world. Yep. They will ship worldwide.
I have them.
If you're in America, there's a different link.
This is the American one. I'll
Because they're actually doing a series. They come in groups of 2. Those are the first 2, and then they're doing at least one more set of 2 after that, so.
And I'll do the worldwide.
Okay. So, I'm gonna start. Oh, the other thing, I'm sorry, I keep going on. I wanted to think about was with her earring. Since it's called Girl with a Pearl Earring, I want to make the earring very obvious in this pin. And I do not physically make every pin. I design the molds, I pick the enamels, we put them in paper and bag them up and mail them to everybody, but the actual molds have to be made at a factory because they have machines that are like as big as this room that stamp them out, the die cutting machines, and I don't have room for that. I don't have room for one, let alone like 70 of them a year, so I have to go to a factory to this. So I'm hoping, and I'm talking to 3 different people at the factory right now and trying to see if there is some sort of material that instead of just putting solid metal in paint, like, or enamel, like you'd see in something like this. I'm wanting to see if I can get some sort of material, like maybe mother of pearl or a faux pearl or a little pearlescent kind of bead or some sort of paint that looks like pearl to make a little shiny spot on her earring. So I'm going to leave that part blank. Usually I'd maybe draw some outlines or do something and try to make like black and blue and pink and white in her ear so it kind of reflects everything. But I'm going to try to see if I can get a tiny little bit so when it's actually shrunken down to the size of the enamel pin, when it's like that size, it'll be like that big. It'll be very, very, very tiny. I want to put something that looks like a pearl. Not sure what it will be. Maybe I'll make it glow in the dark. You know, I'll do something to make it stand out. Maybe glitter. Yeah.
2 people want to fill the glasses filled with gin.
Want the glasses filled with gin? You can. Hey, more power to you. Yeah, I would literally probably fall over at that point.
Katie Tully said that would be beautiful with a little pearl.
Yeah, I'd like to see if I could do something like that. It might be too complicated, or it might make it so I sometimes when I get too crazy and I put too many colors and pins, they end up costing more than I sell them for, which is, it sounds embarrassing. It's a little embarrassing, but it, you know, it means I care about it. But so I don't want to say, oh, wow, I can get a little fake pearl in there for $10 and the pin cost, you know, $9 and I'm selling them for $12 and it turns into a weird, or I've got to give them away free to every Patreon person. I don't want it to
I will say, Jasmine,
get kind of crazy.
That you're not, as far as that goes, you're not cheap.
I am not cheap.
You like good stuff.
No, I will take a loss on half the pins I make probably, but yeah.
That Nintendo guy says, couldn't Jasmine just not have the paint fill it since the back is shiny metal?
Actually the metal I use on my pins, I'll show you since you ask, is not shiny metal. If you don't mind waiting a second, I'll open this up. I use a type of metal that is an iron oxide. Oh, he said, wait,
I'm looking at Porcelina.
Oh, yeah, Porcelina is a one-off. Again, she is a good use of the Delft blue and white. That we were talking about Delft in the blue and white series, but yeah, the metal I use has iron oxide in it, so it's black. The reason I do that is so it looks like outlines, because I think it makes it look more like, kind of like a sort of animation cell, like it's a sketch that's got colors in it, which I think works better with my artwork. But yes, Porcelina was an offset print sort of ink-based enamel that was printed, and that's the only other time I have used blue and white as a porcelain edition. So that is a valid question. But yeah, on these ones I usually do the black iron oxide sort of metal in there.
Katie Tully says, oh, I understand. I have a tendency to overdo it with my pin designs, too.
Oh, yeah.
I think I drive my manufacturer crazy.
Yeah, I have a lot of dialogues with the factory, and they do a wonderful job. And I know the people who work there, and they are super nice. But it is whenever it's like, oh, Jasmine, you've got to hurry up. You just got back from California. What are you going to do? I'm like, oh, I'm going to do the most complicated pin ever. Because I have 2 days, and I will have that amount of time. Matt was making fun of me for that earlier, weren't you, Mandy?
A little bit.
Not for pins, but for paintings.
Yeah.
It's like, Jasmine, you've got to do a group show thing. You got to get a painting in there. And Jasmine's like, oh, I'm going to make it 30 inches by 20 inches, and it's going to be a 9-day painting, and it's going to have reflections and all sorts of glass and everything in. That way I feel I didn't call it in, so I did my best.
You don't call it in.
I never call it in. That's very true. I'm going to go over some of these lines I did when I
might suffer for it, but you don't call it in.
Clearly, but yeah. This is also, too, when I'm going to start thinking about what colors I'm going to use. If I think about something like an enamel pen, you're only going to have like 6, maybe 7. I did 13 colors on the, if you guys have the Pirate Girl series from the Pop Gallery at Disney, that was... I like doubled my usual amount of colors on each pin, which was insane. I think I lose $5 every time I saw one of those. But they are some of the best pins ever, because each one has like 9 tattoos, and each tattoo is like an outline. And again, part of it is just for my fun, and it isn't for anybody else.
M.E.
My enjoyment. Yeah. some quick little outlines here. She's got an interesting sort of overcoat on if you look like at the back of her outfit. She probably has a corset under there, but she's got some sort of zigzaggities on her shoulder. But yeah, I'm curious to see what options I have. And again, that could be why the April pin might be a little bit late. First of all, we were out of town, but also I picked something very complicated to do and some confusing sort of pearl thing happening there. In fact, when I'm painting this and I'm going to send it to the mold manufacturer, I don't know what to put there for the pearl. I might try to paint it and look like the pearl, but then I worry that they're going to, I don't know, not understand what it is. But I've talked to them a couple times about possible seashells or something to put in here. If I just used like kind of peach paint or iridescent paint, I'd probably want to, anytime you have a color change, you have to put a black outline if you're using black metal. So if I put a white glow on it, there'd be a black line around it. And we're like, oh, what's that weird black circle there for? Which is part of the reason something like Porcelina, that, was it Jason was asking about the Porcelina?
Yeah.
The reason that one is an offset print, sort of a different sort of format, is because if you do blue and white porcelain and want it to look like blue and white actual porcelain, you don't want to put a big black silly outline like a coloring book around every color, because how is blue going to fade into blue, fade into white if you have a big cartoonish black line around it?
Ren Girl has a question.
Yeah.
I am moving back to Indiana soon, but not sure yet. At what point on Patreon do I have to give the new address? Can it be after payment or before? I usually look at addresses and double check them to make sure everything's correct.
Before we send out the pins each month.
Before the 10th, around the 7th is good.
Of the month, of whatever month it is.
Right.
Or also just let us know.
And let us know. Send me an email.
Yeah, send us an actual email, because if you update at Patreon, they don't tell us. That's why sometimes.
Well, that's why I double check it.
Yeah, that's why.
If it's a new address, I'll send it to the correct address.
Golly, and it takes like, what is it, like 8 hours to look through everybody's address and compare it to.
Oh, it takes forever. Yeah.
It takes a good full day to
I usually
look
get up
at the
3
addresses.
for that.
Yeah, I get up at 3 in the morning. Look at that address, look at the address, make sure it didn't change. They don't really have a way at Patreon to tell if that has changed yet. So let us know. Just say, hey, I'm moving. Oh,
you know what? I forgot.
You didn't put the phone under it. Hopefully it's my dad saying something terrible on the answering machine. No.
I'm going to take this in the bathroom.
This sounds suspicious already, Maddie. Okay. I can still hear it.
What was it? Hang up calling me now.
Okay.
Stupid machine.
I hear Matt telling everybody what our phone number is.
That's true.
That's basically our answer. Hi, you've reached such and such and such. Yeah, I know.
I tossed the dumb thing in there. Again, thank you everyone for joining the pin group, or the pin nut here.
At Patreon, yes. And thank you for joining us up at Patreon. And also look around Patreon. Look at the people I follow. There are a lot of artists going up there, a lot of musicians. It is, I think, by far the best social media out there anyways. I've said a million times, they do not pay me to say that. I mean, I pay myself to say that, but it is, I want more people up there. It's more, they don't have the weird algorithms that like Facebook and Instagram have. You can always do it in addition to those also.
Would the Rose Mermaid picture be an idea for a pin?
Yes.
There you go.
In fact, I think she was one of the finalists, wasn't it? When we had Luna Moths?
Yeah,
she was.
I think that all those would have been lovely.
Luna Moths was the one with Luna Moths was I think Princess of Bones, Mermaid with Roses, and the other one, Ferret Sunset, Violet Angel.
Jasmine, this is interesting. Helen has a question.
Oh, what's that, Helen?
I'm moving from the UK to Spain sometime this year.
Oh,
man. Maybe
lovely.
I should stay with you there.
You get a suntan.
Can you think of one of... be careful, though.
Yes.
Helen.
I actually, Helen, yes, when you were in Florida, I remember seeing you with a sunburn. But yeah.
Can you think of one of your paintings that would maybe represent new beginnings or some kind of flamenco design? New beginnings. What is... Beginnings. I'm trying to think of what that is.
I think of
Rainbows,
things like phoenixes.
Phoenixes?
Yeah. Because they kind of get reborn in the fire. I would have to think about that. When you ask me questions like that, I'm always like, oh, I will totally think about every painting I've ever done and think of something. So, but I know Helen, so I will put some thought into that.
Princess Bolt said, would another mermaid have the same finish as the Gold Mermaid or Porcelina?
Let me think. If it was Mermaid with Roses, I think I could do her the usual enamel. The usual enamel is when it's the metal and enamel where it's the black line. So I would probably do that. We were talking about square paintings, like how this was a square painting. It's a hard thing to do. I have been thinking about doing, not as like pin of the month, but like it's something that people could buy if they want it or don't have to get if they don't want it. Just on my website, doing the faces of fairy, because they are all square paintings, which, as we've discussed, are very hard to turn into pins. But if I did them as squares that were the offset printing and squished them down and made little 1" by 1" squares, and there was like a bunch of them, and they were like a little series, like a sub-series, I'm thinking about doing that with the same finish of Porcelina. But I wouldn't do it as a pin of the month, because I think everybody who joined up for Pin of the Month agreed to have an enamel pin, which is, in some circles, it's slightly fancier. It's actually molded. There's a physical shape to it. You could feel it if you have your eyes closed. You know, it's an actual shape, die cut, etc. So I might be doing that with some of the faces of fairy. But as far as Mermaid with Roses goes, I think I would keep her the same sort of standard design.
Jasmine. Mm-hmm. Helen says, could you maybe inbox me or email your thoughts?
I definitely can. Mandy, can you make a note for me to talk to Helen?
Actually,
I
Helen,
will put some thought
can
in
you shoot us an email?
Or yeah, Helen,
that's even better.
Helen, if you email me at jasminetotal.com, then I will put some thought into that, because that is an important question. That just makes it way easier
for us. That's a reminder in itself.
Yeah.
Would you consider another self-portrait type pin for your Patreon pin tier?
I definitely will. I don't know if they're the same of the 800 people who've asked me online, but I think I definitely will. I will do some sort of, no, I really have gotten more requests for that than any other thing. They're like, will you do another? And I didn't want to do it right away because I thought it would seem kind of, again, vainglorious just to be like, oh, here's another Jasmine pin. I don't want to pin for myself.
You guys really are asking.
Yeah, they, yeah,
a
tell me
minute's
about
raffle.
it, man.
Let's shoot this off again.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And we're, gosh, we had a minute ago, we had 120 people.
Oh, wow. Hey, maybe this is the thing to do on St. Patrick's Day. Look at us with our wine glasses. Okay. Wine glasses are the next prize, and they are lovely. They've got my fairies on them. Put them up here. Why, is that the blue jay out there?
Yeah, I'm sure that's the blue jay.
Yeah, Mr. Blue Jay's been out there.
He seems to be nice to the other birds.
Yeah, as far as blue jays go.
Just black kitties here.
Oh, I'm sorry. All black or black and white kitty? Sorry.
I can't tell, but Sunshine's going nuts.
All
black.
Oh, Sunshine, don't.
All black.
Our kitties are inside, but they try to get them.
That was hurt once.
Oh, yes, and this head that had a bite taken out of it.
Sunshine. If you can hear that squeaky noise, that's our cat.
Yeah, she's in. Our kitties are inside, but there are random kitties outside that we just feed and try to take care of as they're spayed and neutered and ear tipped and everything.
Oh, there it is.
I'm gonna look at the kitty real quick, and you guys can listen to who won the wine glasses. That's your Sunshine. Who is it? Oh,
you see him?
That's
him.
Oh, good, he found the new feeder.
Yeah, he's more slender.
He's walking a little slow.
Somebody, Tammy says that's a tea glass for her.
That would be a lovely tea glass.
How about a matte pin?
Oh my, maybe a Jasmine and matte pin, but not just a matte. Unless one for your Patreon.
It would only be, I'd say if that'd be on my Patreon, it'd be very exclusive. People, no, that'd make people, I don't know. That's weird.
People join it. Well, I don't know.
Then they'd leave.
Well, they join you for a month, but. No.
Oh, that's kind of sad. I don't know what to think about that.
What had to do with what you did? Like you wrote something.
Yeah. I'll think on that.
I'd be up for it.
You are very busy right now. I am not going to.
Not right now, but I did.
Oh, Pineapple Princess.
Pineapple Princess.
Yep.
Yay.
Pineapple Princess won.
She won the wine glasses. Yay.
Okay.
Or the pineapple juice glasses, or the pina colada glasses, or something. Yeah. But no, if you ever want to work on something like that, Maddie, let me know. I like doing that one with Carrie, Tiger Pixie. We worked on a pin together, but she's a painter, so it's.
I sometimes get accused enough of taking advantage of artist wife.
Hey!
I don't.
Who said that?
I really try
I'll
not
take
to. Honestly, I try to do my own thing. I don't know, sweetie. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
You're sweet though.
Who said that to you?
No one's ever said that to me.
You
because
said you
I'm
get
a guy.
accused a lot of it.
No, a few people. Actually, a few
okay.
people have told me to take advantage of it.
Oh.
No, I swear, if roles were reversed, people would be very.
Oh, I'm
rude.
Sure. If you were the artist and I was the artist.
Because
wife,
people are mean girls
people are
sometimes
jerks.
for no reason.
I've known people in similar situations, and my God, you cannot put
Hopefully
the container
Pineapple
of hate on
Princess
some
is
people.
in the room.
Yay.
Pineapple Princess, are you in the room?
If not, is she somebody who's here in the room sometimes?
Yeah.
Like we could tell her.
Yes.
You've said her name before, I think.
Yes.
Because I remember when you say people's names.
That's a cute name too.
That's a good name.
I like word that. So Sister Biscuit won the first one. Then Nigel won the second one, and then
Pineapple Princess won the third one. And so the final one is my cardinal. Oh, we're just talking about Blue Jays, but I think I can reach her from here. It'll be the last one. So in 1 hour, it's this one. Oh.
Yes. Oh, you got. I'm sorry, sweetie. I should have given
That's
that to you.
That's fine. Oh, I'm just happy I got her. I got one for myself, and then I got one to give away. Oh. And she's got my little cardinal. That's Mr. Cardinal. He's very red. He lives in our backyard.
People would think it'd be adorable. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
See?
I know, but
that's what I'm talking about.
I know.
Yeah. Oh.
It's fun to be adorable, but I don't know. My stuff sometimes doesn't jive with yours.
Oh, no. Very often it does not. But that's okay.
Otherwise, I'd be, writing fairy tales constantly. I've written a few, but they just don't feel...
Yeah.
I mean, I like to. They just don't feel like what I want.
That's not what you're doing at the moment. Yeah.
Right.
No, I hear ya. I don't do Disney paintings all the time. I mean, just...
Right.
Oh, it's lovely. Anyways, I love this new series, and we were... Again, we're basing off birds in our yard, and these are little figurines.
Actually,
so
let them know why it's special to us.
Yeah, I talked about it a bit earlier, but
yeah.
This is a new series of figurines that are all based off of birdies that live in my backyard and that come visit us at our house here in Florida, and also our house in England and our house in Kansas City, and all those birdies that come by. So I think the second one we're doing is based off the bluebirds and. Or did we do mourning doves? I forget. I've done several. I don't know what order they're coming in at, but
Aw, that's sweet, Jasmine.
Yeah.
In Indiana, they say when a cardinal comes to your yard, it's actually someone visiting you from heaven, someone you love.
Oh, they do.
Because there's probably people that I don't love.
That's true. You wouldn't want those birds in your yard. That's more like an ostrich or something. Yeah. Maybe a blue jay. Like, what when an ostrich shows up in your yard?
That means someone
pterodactyl.
From hell is visiting you.
Oh.
No, but I love birds.
I do too.
Jasmine and I share that.
Yeah, if you saw me run up a second ago, that was for a kitty, but we have feeding stations for the feral cats and also for birdies. So
we saw a cardinal today and a blue jay and mourning dove.
Yeah.
We didn't see any little titmouses.
I saw 4 titmouses today.
I didn't see them today.
You weren't paying attention because you were sleeping because you have a cold. Sunshine White Baby, you want to come up?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting to bed earlier than later tonight.
Yeah. We've just come off California, so they are a couple 3 hours off from us.
And even though everyone knows I'm drinking this coffee here, does it stop me from sleeping, Jasmine?
No, I can't. If I have a coffee, I won't sleep for 3 days. I have
a coffee, I'll go to sleep in 5 minutes. It really doesn't affect me. I think that's why that death stuff didn't bother me. What are we doing with Girl with a Pearl Earring? I'm glad you asked, Luna Pixie.
Yes. This is the new pin design for the April pin of the month. So I'm doing the line art based off of the version I did of Girl with the Pearl Earring, which is very similar to the Vermeer version. My original painting had a complicated background and stuff, but I'm just taking the main character. And we were talking about a minute ago, I might do some sort of cool, if I can figure out a way to do it at the factory before April 12th or whatever, do some sort of pearl shiny sort of inlay there. I might just go glitter if I have to, but I'd like to do something cool. But I was showing too. She's the, I think the most recent color. Is she the most recent coloring page up at Patreon? If you are somebody who likes coloring pages, oh my gosh! If you aren't at Patreon, go up there now because we have 34.
Oh, it's in a crazy.
Oh, if you do grayscale, I was talking about grayscale earlier. Grayscale, where you put clear colors over the coloring, which is pretty cool. We have 60 some up there, and you don't have to join every month. You can pay $5 once and then just hightail it out of there. That's fine. I won't be offended. Or you can stay in and get all the new ones because we've got new ones coming. Anyway, so this is loosely, I've kind of moved her nose and mouth around a bit and added some kind of that sort of Delft blue and white design around the bottom of her hair. And this will be the pin design for the April pin of the month.
That made Luna Pixie very happy.
Yay! Well, I think she was one that was in the voting, wasn't she? Also?
Luna Pixie, were you in the voting?
No.
Oh.
The girl with the pearl earring.
Oh.
Don't worry, Maddie. I don't look at my constituents. I don't look up their names or anything. But no, that's their voting. That's private.
Think so.
Yes, I think it was her. I think it was Mermaid with Roses and Princess of Bones and Luna Moths. And it was Luna Moths that won for the Patreon only one, which is the one we showed earlier. Hey, it's actually getting darker out. I might show it really quickly. I'm sorry to keep going away from painting. With this sort of painting, it's more line art and kind of production work than it is like smudging around colors. But I'm gonna hold. It's a little bit darker out.
Shaylee
I'm gonna
says
hold
line
it
art's
to...
fun. It's relaxing.
I like line art, but I always feel like it's in conjunction with something else. It's like this is gonna be a coloring page. I know I have several friends who all they do is line art, and that is what they do, and they do it better than I do my paintings, and it's really cool to see people draw like that. But
or maybe Shaylee's
that's not where I'm at yet.
That it's relaxing watching you do it.
Oh, well, that might be true. Yeah.
Luna said yes. That. Why, yes, I was in the voting.
Oh, see, there you go.
I voted for what? I voted for actually Voodoo and Violet.
Voodoo and Violet?
Yeah.
I don't think was she in the vote?
No, wasn't she?
Luna Moths won.
Luna Moths won, but
it was for the Patreon one.
Yeah,
was it Princess of Bones?
I can't remember.
Or wait, was it Voodoo and Violet and it made her the next month?
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yes,
okay.
I did vote for
Let's see,
her.
it's darker out now. Maybe this is working. Oh, that's working better.
This is cool, guys.
It's glowing better. I don't know what's showing
this.
up, but yes. But this is a brand new type of enamel that is super, super glowy. It almost looks like there's a battery back there or something. I love it. Some of you guys probably already got this in the mail, but oh no, I'm holding it the wrong way probably.
No,
but,
you did fine.
All right. I can't see the TV from here. Probably look very mysterious right now. But it's still light out here. Darn you, daylight savings time.
No, I like it.
I like the daylight savings time when it goes away in the fall. And you get to sleep in an hour.
I'll lose an hour just to have it every day.
Well, it's not like I even sleep in an hour. I just like having an extra hour. I feel like
I hear you.
Conquered Kronos or something. Yeah.
I feel like you conquered Kronos?
Yeah, I beat time. Does that sound better? Okay.
Didn't Kronos eat his children?
Huh?
Am I confusing?
Are you thinking of Saturn?
Saturn isn't Saturn.
Saturn is Kronos.
Saturn is Kronos.
Oh, man. No spoilers.
Yeah.
for existence.
And they did kill him. Zeus killed him.
Yes. Zeus did kill him, yeah.
Or Jupiter.
Or Osiris. Depends who you're looking at. Yeah. It just got real. Do a bit of her nose there, and then I'm gonna put some white highlights on her so you can kind of see where the lighter bits are gonna be, but other than the metal outline. So if I look at her here, the main white parts you can see, again, I've got to cut this down into 6, 7, 8, 12 colors. So if I see the brightest bits, it's going to be her eyes. And I'm going to ignore the window over here because I'm not going to put that in the pin because it's like, why is there a weird window on your pin? I just want to have the main character. There's a bright white dot there, bright white dot there. Did I cut that? I did kind of keep it as too white. Oh. And then the confusing bit with her pearl earring. Yeah.
Luna Pixie thought you meant Kronos, the Klingon home planet.
Oh, I always mean that when I say Kronos. Yeah.
Amanda Rabbit says Sailor Pluto controlled time and Sailor Moon. Sailor Saturn controlled death and destruction. Stupid facts that don't matter for you.
I thought Pluto.
Right,
Pluto. No. Don't tell me Sailor Moon doesn't matter to me. But no, Pluto and Saturn are the same thing, aren't they? Kind of. Or no?
Who?
God-wise, Pluto and Saturn? Are they?
No,
not?
those are two planets. They would be Roman. Pluto.
Oh, I
is
see.
death.
Yeah, and then Kronos is
Yeah, and Saturn. Yeah.
I'm not religious, so I don't know. I'm either not religious or I'm too religious. I kind of I pick and choose. Yeah, I am. What I'm gonna do on her earring for now, I'm gonna just paint it white because that will remind me if I'm like scanning it in and if we're actually doing the metal mold casting from it, then I'll say, hey, something special is gonna go there. I'm just gonna put some little white on here.
Jasmine, could you mention Kieran's YouTube channel?
Oh yeah,
I'll find a link.
You know how I kept talking about, hey, if you look earlier when I had Absinthe Reflections up there, or I talked about other paintings I've done, go look at Kieran's World on YouTube, and you will see many previous broadcasts I have done, but kind of parsed and concised into smaller bits and bobs. So it's the highlights reel, if you will. Because not everybody has 4 hours on a weekend to watch Jasmine paint. I barely do. And this is part of what I was talking about, looking at the different parts of the painting and seeing where different colors are going to overlap. If you're going to think about a pearl earring, which is part of what I think makes this painting kind of enigmatic, is you have a white pearl, but it's reflecting on her white collar, which is not something that is easy to portray in artwork, certainly not in the 8-bit sort of artwork that is pin enamel, but even in 1600s Delft sort of painting, realistically, it's like, oh, you've got to put white, different sort of white, different sort of white, different white in a circle, different white there, and then a little sort of collar that's reflecting on. So when you're cutting that down to like 5 or 6 colors, it's like, what sort of white is it? And that's what I want to maybe put. And if I don't hold it against me. It's probably the factory's fault. I want something that looks kind of like I don't know, like a little bit of sea glass or something like that. Something pretty that's kind of iridescent.
Because she has a pearl earring.
Yeah, because it's a pearl earring, and that's her name is Girl with a Pearl Earring. I didn't name her that. Actually, I don't think Vermeer named her that, but that's what she's known by. So I want that to be the highlight of the pin, so if people see it, instead of saying, it's a weird lady with the turban, you're like, no, that's Girl with the Pearl Earring by Vermeer, and then you recognize it. Yeah.
Except for the TARDIS.
I like sentences that start off that way. Yeah.
What is your favorite, in movies or stories or anything, your favorite time travel device?
Ooh. I would either go with Raceland Measures from the Dragonlance saga or Hermione's Time Turner device from Harry Potter. Is that okay?
Okay, so the Time Turner?
That one or Raceland's from Dragonlance. But
okay.
Yeah, that's good also.
Because he has a hourglass? He has hourglass eyes, huh?
That is why the hourglass is in the Strangeling logo.
Oh.
That you want as a pin, people. Make sure you read the books. Make sure you want to wear that around. Well, this is kind of a funny painting of mine, too. If you look at her mouth, you can see her teeth. There are not a lot of paintings of mine, other than Speak No Evil, which is not count, I don't think. You can see her tiny little teeth there. So if I'm gonna use that same sort of white, again, it's not gonna be the same as her earring. I'm putting that as a placeholder. But if I put a little bit there in her mouth when it's open. But no, I like the TSR Dragonlance version of it.
Hot Tub Time Machine and Doritos Time Machine.
I don't know
the DeLorean.
Oh, I the DeLorean, like from Back to the Future. Yeah. I'm with it. Now I'm trying to think if there are ones I like better, but no, the D&D ones from Dragonlance, I like that. I like Hermione's Time Turner. I like the telephone in Long Dark Time of the Soul by Douglas Adams. I know I don't know if there's a movie of that or not.
And then,
but
of course, the original Time Machine, H.G. Wells.
H.G. Wells is lovely.
But
no, I really like the one in the Douglas Adams books. That's the it's the one. It's kind of like not a parody of the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, but it kind of is. And actually it's in Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, the book wise, not TV show wise, and that one's pretty great because he uses it to play a not very good magic trick on a bored 7-year-old at the dinner table. And if that is not the best use of a time machine out there, I don't know what is. Have you read that one?
No, I haven't read that one. No, I've only read the first one. Amanda Rabbit says
the first one is Dirk Gently's Holistic.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm talking about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I was talking about the author. I now have to know: has Jasmine done a Doctor Who painting with an artist, or can there be one someday? I have mighty needs. I told Amanda Rabbit. Now is when Jasmine tells you how licensing works.
Well, that's when I don't know about licensing works a bit because I don't know enough about how BBC works because it is publicly held. So I don't know if they own the rights to their characters or, again, I'm not technically a British citizen, but I do pay into the whole TV license poll to BBC that everybody else who doesn't have Sky TV in England pays for. So I don't know if I technically kind of own it a little bit. So I don't know. I mean, I can.
How that works.
Huh? I really don't know. I would like to. You've probably heard me say it before, but when I was being born, my mother was watching a Doctor Who episode, so I very much identify with that program. So I would like to do something having to do with that. So
I will say, real quick, people ask Jasmine to do like things that would often be fan art, but Jasmine has to sell art. Jasmine has a lot of employees.
If I wasn't a company, I would be able to do a lot more stuff.
She'd be able to do fan art and not sell it at all. But then that's what her job is, so it wouldn't make any sense to do that.
Also, I don't want to get
and she can't break the rules because, again, she has to support her business. And if she breaks the rules and gets in trouble, we all get in trouble.
By we all, we mean me and everybody I know almost.
Yeah, and it kind of just domino effects. So Jasmine keeps her nose clean as far as that sort of thing goes because we have to. It's very important. Not that she doesn't like those properties. She loves them a lot.
I do. And I might love them more than other people do.
Right. She just can't do something.
You've got to get permission first. So I always put the copyright Disney when I do things for the Walt Disney Company because they ask me to paint them.
Luna Pixie says Dragonlance is the only series to cause me to both laugh out loud, Hasselhoff, and actually cry.
Yes.
Here's Flint. Oh, when Flint's running.
Flint. Oh,
his last little hurrah.
Under the tree, man. Yeah, that's awful. Oh.
But he ran faster than he ever had. He probably had a little dwarf heart attack.
Yeah, well, he was 143 years old, so.
Yeah, dwarves are great. They don't live as long as elves, but they live longer than humans.
They live longer than people.
But.
And the female dwarves have whiskers. I think that's lovely. Yeah.
My least favorite character.
In the Dragonlance series?
Besides, obviously, Riverwind.
Oh, come on!
is Tanis. I grow upset with him.
Tanis is meant to be
I'm not fond of Tanis.
Everyman's. He's the one who's going to be conflicted by his half-elf, half-human
and he's doted on by these beautiful, beautiful women. It just...
yeah, it's like what? Lorana and Kitty are both in love with you. Okay, yeah. You must look... no offense to your artwork, but you must be a lot more charismatic in person than your persona implies. But,
and Raistlin is a great character because he goes through a lot of struggle.
Fantastic. Yes.
He is a great. He's an anti-hero. I think
that's probably a good use of that word. Yeah.
Caraman is fantastic.
I like Caraman.
He is great.
Raistlin.
He goes through some lows. But he really shows. He shows what I get. You can see why they're twins. There's something there that they both have. You can also see how being a level 20 magic user is way cooler than being a level 20 anything physical.
I say that every morning when I wake up. Yeah, I know.
While you're exercising.
Yeah, while you're coughing. Oh, wait, wrong way.
Okay,
No.
Kieran wants you to mention his YouTube right at the end of the broadcast.
Right at the end? Okay. I'll try to say it really quick at the end.
Because that's when we usually say our goodbyes.
Oh, okay.
So
then everybody will be paying attention then. All right.
No, he said it worked really well.
Oh, good. Hey.
So,
to be fair, it is probably better if you're trying to catch up to watch those than to watch my meandering mumbling, so...
Will you be, since we're zipping through time, will Jasmine do any other historical figures as pins soon?
As what? Sorry, I couldn't hear there.
Historical figures as pins.
Oh, here's
voice is
hoping.
right now.
Well, I'm planning to do quite a few different historical figures in the next year and a half, because my next show at the Corey Helford Gallery in 2020 is going to have to do with a lot of people I have admired from centuries past. So, since I'll be doing a lot of paintings based off of those different characters, but I say characters, but they were real people, but based off of them, you will probably see things like t-shirts and pins and coffee cups and statues or whatever will be based off of those in the not too distant future.
So Luna loves Raceland, as does Jasmine. And then she asked if we've ever seen the Dragonlance cartoon that Kiefer did.
I have not.
And I said we were warned away from not to see it. I can't judge it.
I don't want to say that because I have not seen it.
I've
so
never
I don't
been
want
warned
to
away from
pass
something
judgment on it. I just
than that.
knew a lot of the people involved with the original stories, and I didn't know if they, someday I'll probably get drunk and watch them on Netflix or something like that, but I have not seen them, and I thought it was cool that Kiefer Sutherland wanted to do
that was around the time that he was doing 24, I think.
Yeah, he was kind of in demand then, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think he offered to voice Raceland for free.
I think it was pro bono.
Yeah, so that is pretty cool. I have not seen them.
I haven't read the Ravenloft books.
Oh, I have. I've read. Oh God, the Lord Soth one's pretty good.
The Driss books are great.
Ah, those are good. They're a little male centric.
No, they're almost.
No, they're not male centric. They're
more
just
like
anti-female.
Well, the females in it are the female.
But
drow.
all the females. What other
Female
girls
drow are
plural
just
in that?
awful.
Really?
Their matriarchal craziness.
That's okay. Actually, I think it in a way maybe it might be a parody on the way that Western society is towards males, but it's the other way, and how offensive it is if you do it that way. I don't know. Well, it's probably reading way too much into
anyone. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Lady Dracula says Drist is a traitor.
Yeah,
he is. He becomes good, and he has neat friends. Do neat stuff.
He's good animal friends and things. So
His dad was cool too.
Yeah, good for him.
Those are pretty good books.
They also had neat video games based off of them in that time period, like Amiga games and
I
old
love those
486, 386 sort of computer games that were around that time. Oh God, it makes me sound old. Pools of Radiance. Eye of the Beholder. Oh, somebody, who was it? Somebody maybe up here or maybe up at one of the groups I'm in was talking about a new movie coming out, a documentary called Eye of the Beholder that is based off of the artist who helped make Dungeons and Dragons.
Have IMDb yet?
I don't know. I literally found out about yesterday, so I don't know.
Let me see.
It might be. I thought it was a good name though. It's like Eye of the Beholder. That's so cool. But for those people who don't know me, that is how I got into fantasy art as a living, was through Dungeons and Dragons. So
yes, the art of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
It's already. I'm gonna put the link up.
It's already up. Who watched it after Twitch?
It says 2018.
2018. Oh shit! I haven't seen it.
There's not $65,000 budgets. No info hardly.
That sounds promising. Okay.
But it says if you like this, you like the movie Tootsie.
So it's
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if I really like that movie that much. I don't know. I like Dustin Hoffman, but it wasn't like I like Bill Murray. That just wasn't my sort of movie.
Probably not Gary Gygax's art.
He did some of the art for the very, very early ones.
They were not the best things. I would love to have some originals.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have some old D&D original artwork here in my house. But that is that's why he hired people to do the art. I didn't know it was out already.
He's known for the mind behind it.
Yes.
We're talking
which is
about
magnificent.
The artist,
the painters, the Keith Parkinsons, and the Larry Elmores, and
right.
The people who did the artwork.
Yes,
yeah.
You guys should be excited about it.
Yes, you
it's a part of
should.
Nerd history.
Because that is why I got into fantasy art.
Good.
So again, if it's a terrible movie and it's inappropriate for everybody, then I'm sorry, I didn't see it yet.
Gary Gygax should have his own. He should have his own movie.
He has a good book, or there is a book about him.
He passed away, about 5 years ago?
Oh, God, it happened when we were at MegaCon, remember?
I remember
We were loading boxes in the back parking garage into MegaCon, and people were like, I don't usually smoke, but Gary Gygax just died, and I'm like, oh. F, that's awful. It was kind of depressing.
Bad day to quit sniffing glue.
Apparently. Thank you, airplane. Yeah.
Does anyone remember Ravenloft? Lady Dracula Cries to the Sky.
I
played some Ravenloft video games, but
it was Vampire the Masquerade before Vampire the Masquerade was a thing. It was
Ravenloft
good.
Was?
Yeah. It was D&D modules. Ravenloft.
No, Ravenloft books, I think.
Ravenloft was books. They wrote the biography of Lord Soth, for example. They also had D&D modules that were Ravenloft books they were meant to be like the goth versions for D&D.
Right.
Yeah, for AD&D, the 3rd edition.
I played some of the games and things, but I never...
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry.
They were kind of the gothy things for people who were into D&D before they had, like...
D&D's fairly... It can be goth as much as you want it to be.
D&D can be anything you want it to be. That's what's
D&D.
amazing about it. What's that?
Of course, Lady Dracula 666 would know all this.
She knows, yes! You have a good name, Lady Dracula. Yeah.
She probably just forced me to cough with her... magic drider powers.
Raven coughed. Yes.
She's defending a matron Malice.
Oh, okay. Well, she's like the Nurse Ratched. You know, that's what she does.
Love Strad. Yeah, I hate when I don't know.
Oh, the vampire? Oh, he was like the head vampire for the modules that came out.
Oh, cool. Oh, wait, I know that.
Yeah,
dude.
you do. Yes, you do, baby.
Oh, Lady Dracula says thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yes, I am. She's making me cough.
Oh, good on you. Have you been doing it for like 3 days? Because he's been coughing forever.
Coughing, get it?
He's been forever coughing? No, sorry, that's bad.
Oh,
that's so bad. I
See,
feel like if I had a big green
we went down to
beard,
95 viewers.
But yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, we're back up to 99.
Oh, see?
Yay, bounce back. So about a half hour, and then we will have our final raffle, and Jasmine will show that later. Not now, but later.
Yep. I am still working on the
founder of Ravenloft, Stad von Zarovich.
Mm-hmm.
April Gardenia said that was punny. Thank you. They also have Doctor Who D&D.
I don't know that.
I remember the Ravenloft ones too, and never had them though.
If I didn't paint all the gosh darn time, I would probably do something like that.
In 7th grade, I was a lonely little boy, and I played D&D all by myself.
Are you reading this, or are you telling me, baby?
No,
because they sound like your friends.
Confession.
Okay.
And there was a cool, it's kind of had a module built into it, and I don't remember what they're called, but you'd flip the pages themselves. Mm-hmm. And they would have a random number on them. So it
wasn't White Wolf, was it?
I don't remember right now. No, it wasn't White Wolf. No.
Were they books?
Yep.
They were like Choose Your Own Adventures, but they were like
a little bit like that.
Yeah.
And no, those are good.
Those are good. But you get them from the library, and everybody's like effing scribbled on them, yeah.
Yes, because they write numbers
it's like,
things.
No, I start off with 20 hit points. Oh no, now I'm 19, and they would write it in the back of the gosh darn library book and. Sorry for my swearing.
Oh, Husky says beautiful face on this. Actually,
Oh, thank you.
So pretty.
Aw.
I like it too.
Yeah, I'm keeping her more or less the same. I have moved her nose over, and the reason I have done that, if you're really looking at my original painting, is if I'm squishing this down to like 1.5 inches, if I put her nose too close to her mouth, it kind of turns into like a weird little Hitler mustache, and I don't want that to happen because I have black metal on there. So I want the nose and the mouth to be a little bit further away because the metal has to be a certain width when you make a line on it, because you have to pour the actual enamel in it. So sometimes if you look at the painting, you're like, oh, her eyes are a little bit off, or oh, that one's a little bit off. It's because I don't want the eyes to turn into the ears,
Jasmine.
to turn into her hair. Yeah.
That Nintendo guy says, I'm sorry, Matt, can we just take a second and awe at how Jasmine just made this face come to life?
Aw.
You totally did, though.
Thank you.
And I'll say it for the group. Ah.
Aw. Yeah, I think she's gonna look lovely. Again, I don't know if I'll get to the point when I'm choosing the colors, but since it is also a coloring page, if you are a Patreon patron, you can go up and pick your own colors and color them yourself. We even have them as like PNG and PDF downloads and grayscale, so you can like color it on your phone or your iPad or whatever, and that's kind of fun. You can make her all different colors and make her hair different colors. Well, she doesn't really have hair, she's got like a headscarf, but that's kind of the fun I have when I'm designing a pen and I'm looking at different types of enamel. And I do make different jars. This one, for example, is my own approximation. See this whole background color I used to gesso? This is a piece of wood from Home Depot here, right? So I make my own color, and that is supposed to approximate the idea of Pantone Warm Gray 1, which is a type of enamel that you get. And that's the color I use for whenever you see the kind of characters that look like me. They kind of look like they don't go out a lot, and they're like a white girl who doesn't get much of a tan or whatever. I've determined this is Warm Gray 1. Well, I'm a blended ethnicity, but I'm mostly a white girl, and that's kind of what I look like when I don't go in the sun. So I've made I don't even know how many of these. These are all different types of enamel.
When I travel, everyone's like, "You're so tan."
I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know how many of these I have, but they're flesh tones, and if they're based on me, and then I've got ones that are for people who are tan or dark skinned, and I've got so many of these. I mean, here's one that I've got. What was this, yogurt? I don't remember what was in there, but I make my own little tins here. Oh, here's a good one. Yeah, here's one I'd do. Let's say I was dark-skinned and maybe went out in the sun a lot. I might be more brown or more pink or more whatever, and that's kind of a shadow turn. So I make a lot of these, but I try to match them to the Pantone enamels, which are the actual enamels that are poured into the little molds that are made out of black metal that we pour the skin tones into. So when I do the paintings for the molds to be made from, I try to start them off with whatever the biggest area is. This one, it was almost blue or yellow, which might sound odd to like start her face blue, but a lot of her little headscarf is kind of blue. So she's stuck on the back. Okay. So I might have started this off with blue and then put some of that on her face and put some yellow up in the other part of her headscarf and put the little red on her mouth, but
Jasmine?
it just saves me time if I do it for whatever the biggest area is. Yeah.
You hiss at the sunshine, or does the sunshine hiss at you?
Sunshine hisses at me a lot. We have a kitty cat. Sunshine. I don't know if Matt's reading. I can't see the TV, so I don't know if it's just Matt talking to the universe or if he's just talking to me. Or okay. It's hard to say.
April says it's hard to get away from the sun in Florida.
Yeah. I know, and I've
got
family who are brown as a berry, and it's like, oh, I just don't go out much, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, one of Jasmine's sisters tans very quickly.
Yeah, part of our family is Native American, so we get usually very tan, but for some reason I don't. I think it's because I hide inside and paint all day. But Amber will get tan in 5 minutes. My dad will, too.
I tan normal.
You tan pretty good, and you got freckles too, and you make your hair yellow. So, and you have blue eyes, which just makes you look really tan if you aren't very tan even.
Kitten says they tan very easily, but Bob burns. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Bob. I burn pretty good when I need to.
I burnt really bad one time at Cocoa Beach. That was awful.
That's our slogan there. And some families, the people from Europe are very, they get very skin cancery, so I'm always very careful about that. I had enough problems then.
This is fun watching you do this.
Yeah. And I'll show you guys once she is done. Again, it will definitely. I'll probably have her all sized down into the actual finished artwork, which usually looks something like this. And we have to, again, they scan it into the computer and make a mold out of it and stuff like that. So I should have the finished version of her to show you by next weekend, and also the finished version of Absinthe Reflection there. And then we'll have a pen, and she will be a regular pen that everybody can get in April. Usually it's the middle part of the month. Again, we've been in California, so we haven't had time to add the Voodoo and Violet yet up on the website, but usually it's the middle part of the month. Or if you never want to miss out on any of the new pins of the month, just join the Patreon thingy, and
that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, and that includes your shipping. So if you live in England, you're gonna save money, or New Zealand, you're gonna save lots of money.
And you get all the other benefits of the Patreon too.
Yeah, some people join and don't even want the pins. They're like, no rewards, I just want the Patreon. And it's like, okay, you just get to see stuff early, and we do stuff like if you come to a show, you can get like a free print. And I put my when I do like my limited editions and stuff like that, people can reserve them. And the last, I don't know how many paintings I've had, honey, when I come out with a limit, like a masterpiece edition, and they are already sold out by the time I release them. It's because they already sold out to the Patreon people before they go to the public. So
that's great.
If you are an early adopter, that is the place to be. Or if you like to buy originals, you can see them before other people do. And that's when you go to a show, everybody else, and you're like, how come all the paintings have sold on them? That's because they were people who got to see them early.
People are still talking about their sunburns in the room.
Oh
no! What one trick that we do here in Florida is we always keep the this aloe stuff inside the fridge.
Yes, so it's cold.
So it's cold.
The spray.
And then if you get a sunburn, you just put that. It feels really good.
Yes. And then 10 years later, they have to biopsy your back because you got a sunburn. You don't always have to.
Shaving cream is supposed to make it heal faster, but I always have used raw aloe.
Well, shaving cream has aloe in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Some types of it do. It's like a...
Yeah, not the soap shaving cream that they used a million years ago.
No, but like Gillette, they have an aloe version, and they've got ladies. Daisy has aloe in it. And...
Well, Gillette is, that's the best a man can get right there.
I've heard a song about this. Yeah, we used to have highway ads, which makes me sound like I'm 70 or 80 years old. I don't know.
Ellie Sarah says, I had a 12-hour flight from Las Vegas with 2nd and 3rd degree burns on my back.
Ooh.
Because I fell asleep in the sun for 30 minutes with factor 60 sunblock on.
So you get for getting factor 60. Should have gotten 90, which I think you can't even say anymore on bottles because they said it means nothing, but...
Helen says, I did the aloe in the fridge in Mexico.
Oh, okay. That's a place to do it.
Vix Allen says, Jasmine, do you ever find it hard switching between different paintings that you're doing?
Usually only for like the first 5 seconds or so. And then if I'm by myself and I'm not here at Twitch or something like that, I usually try to, for example, if I was listening to an album or an audiobook, I try to switch over to whatever I was listening to when I was working on the last one. And then all of a sudden I remember it and then I work on it that way. That might sound weird, but it doesn't work as well on Twitch because I just have Matt talking at me. But
I like talking to you.
oh, thank you, honey.
Talking to you is one of my favorite things.
Oh, you being a sweetie cat.
I'm serious.
You're serious.
It really is like one of my favorite things to do.
Baby.
We have really good conversations.
I do like talking.
I sometimes I don't like when our conversations end because I have so much fun chatting with you.
Thank you, honey.
Oh, you're welcome. Of course, I don't chat quite as openly on Twitch, but we have fun here too.
Okay. Oh.
And I don't often talk to you while you're painting.
No,
FYI,
you don't.
Guys,
That's
I usually
great.
leave
Don't.
Jasmine alone.
Yes, that's part of how this whole thing works.
Yes,
Like
I
you
usually leave her
across town
alone.
now, and you work on your own things. I'm gonna work on this now.
Now they're
Yeah.
saying we're adorable again.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh.
I don't feel adorable right now. I
Oh,
feel like I need
baby.
a shave,
It's
and
because you got
I've
a
been
cold.
neglecting my
He's been
beard.
snarfly.
And, ugh,
Have you? I
can't
don't really
tell.
notice, really.
I
I
can
thought your
tell.
hair was hilarious yesterday, and you're like, no, I've got to take a shower.
I look like a cockatiel.
Cockatiels are adorable.
I know.
I don't know. It didn't bother me. My mom says I'm
honestly,
cool.
Guys, I think I'm feeling better than I have last 3 days.
Aw.
So I'm feeling a
Well,
lot
hey, it
better.
could be just talking to people and stuff might help.
Yeah,
too.
but there's some days where it's like I've laid around enough, and I got to get to work, man. I got to do stuff. I just can't make my assistant do it all.
Yeah. I've never felt that way.
I missed the first raffle winner's name.
Oh,
The
who
first
was
raffles
that?
winner that was. Find out. It was Sister Biscuit. Sister Biscuit.
Sister Biscuit. Yes.
Sister Biscuit. Oh, the time.
Oh my.
That's a song from the '80s. Sister Biscuit. You remember that
Yeah,
one?
it's kind of like Big O Biscuit, but
By
different.
Night Baker.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
in a.
Sister Biscuit.
Hey,
by
it's a
Night
Boogie
Baker.
Nights. Huh?
That's a good joke.
That is a
That
not
Nintendo
a
likes that
that's
joke.
not a it's not that great of a joke, love. Yeah.
Oh,
I know
Princess
the
Bullet
song.
said I had a face for radio.
You do, baby.
Oh, that's awful.
Aww.
Dang. Princess Bullet just lost 5,000
Oh, she's
points.
never gonna win another raffle again.
No, the thing is, she can win the raffle
Because it's random.
because it's random,
It is random.
and even if I deduct 5,000 points from your map pool,
Means nothing.
it means nothing
Yeah.
to Moobot, who
Nothing.
obviously doesn't care about
Yeah,
my
Moobot.
feelings anyway.
Moobot
'Cause I
cares
wasn't feeling
not,
good,
man.
and it didn't
Yeah.
work for the first half hour.
Yeah.
But Moobot's better now. It didn't make any sense. Like it was catching up. It didn't make any sense.
Yes, I think he was blanking us because we weren't on here for a month or a week and a half. Huh?
Hey, Princess Bullet, you're on here a lot. I bet you'll win eventually.
You're awesome.
No, the
Yeah.
chances are actually pretty good.
Yeah, they are. I figured it out the other day, and it's like if you've been here every time, you've got a 50-50 chance of winning eventually, like over the course of a year. So that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. The only thing that could
It's like the
prevent
opposite
it
of
is
a
if
lottery.
our viewership goes mad. Which
would be awesome.
I remember
If you know
Sister
anybody,
Biscuit with the
tell me.
Casey Kasem intro.
Oh,
This is a
see,
Casey
somebody
Kasem,
knows.
blah, blah, blah.
Somebody
A long distance
speaking
dedication.
Matt's language. Yeah.
I remember those long distance dedications. Those were cool.
Isn't that shaggy?
America's Top 40.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch Scooby Doo when I was little, so.
Casey, not that Casey. But I mean, that is the Casey.
That is Casey Kasem,
Yes, it
thank
is.
you. He was a vegetarian also.
He was the voice of Shaggy, was it?
Yep. I may not have seen the TV shows, but I know the voices because I've read it once, and now I know. Yeah, he was Shaggy.
That's weird.
Yep.
But mostly he
I'm
was
telling
the
you,
guy
write
who,
it down once, I'll remember it. What's that?
mostly he was the guy who did America's Top 40.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the American Bandstand guy,
Dick Clark.
Dick Clark, who I think passed away a couple years ago.
I think
But
he
man,
passed
he
away
did-
a few years before that.
He did the what's that?
Yeah, he did the countdown on the
Yeah.
New Year's, and until a couple years after he died. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Awful.
Oh no, I'm just not very good with timelines.
God. I hope no one heard that.
didn't say anything bad at all. I have nothing. To be fair, I had a bad experience. I had a bad experience with Dick Clark. Remember?
Casey Kasem had a great voice. You had a bad experience with Dick Clark?
Yes. I'm not going to get into it on the air, but yes, I'll remind you of it.
I'm sorry, I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. I feel validated in making my joke. But,
okay, well, if he's being a jerk, he's being a jerk.
No, it's not.
He was our weekends growing up for sure. Yeah.
Casey Kasem or Dick Clark?
Casey Kasem.
Okay. But yeah, I knew him as the voice of Shaggy because I couldn't watch Scooby-Doo. I wasn't allowed to.
Oh, no one heard. Oh, Mel Bill heard you.
I'm sorry.
But Tammy didn't.
Oh, that's fine. No. He's probably very nice under most situations.
Well, yeah.
Or was. I don't know about now. Hard to tell.
Hey,
Oh, she's looking pretty great.
Talk about old men that are like Casey Kasem and Dick Clark. Bob Barker, he's cool.
Bob Barker is cool.
Bob Barker loves animals.
He does. He helped fund one of the Sea Shepherd's
all those
shows.
people are a type, aren't they?
Yeah. I think that was kind of the media type to, like, not game show host, but something along those lines. To talk to Bob Eubanks. People who are like, whatever the American version of a BBC television presenter is, those were those sorts of guys for America. Sorta.
Prices.
Huh?
Someone said the price is wrong. I watched a recent documentary
on the airplane
about a guy
I did not see it.
He memorized all the.
I know the story. That seems something I would do. It's kind of a jerk move to do.
No, they didn't have an issue with it.
It's not illegal.
No,
I mean, it wasn't against the rules. He just memorized them.
And you can. It's like, as far as game shows go, it's not like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
It's not Jeopardy.
Like $13,000 maybe.
It's like, here's a camper. You don't have to take it if you don't want to. And here's a sofa set. You've got 5 of them, but you only have one living room. Yeah.
Is the ornate bottom of the pin going to be metallic colored or sparkly?
Actually, it's going to be blue and white. I wanted to make it kind of like the blue and white sort of Delft porcelain, which is where Vermeer, the guy who did the original Girl with the Pearl Earring, was born at. So I wanted to take some of the blue that is from her headscarf, the white from her eyes and from her neck, and make kind of a blue and white porcelain pattern. Kind of like the blue willow porcelain pattern that I have in some of my other paintings. Because I basically didn't know how to end her, because she's kind of a square there. So.
People are saying she looks amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm liking her so far, and I think it's kind of funny because, like I said, a lot of my characters don't show their teeth, but I wanted to with her because I think that's part of what makes that painting so enigmatic. Is you see her teeth and you see a little bit of her lip, and at that time you didn't show people smiling very often. It's the same reason people like the Mona Lisa. It's like she's smiling a little bit, and people back then just did not for painting. So.
Kitten wants to let you know that blue porcelain is difficult to work with.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I do not have a lot of experience with things like ceramics and stuff, so that looks like it would be difficult.
I only know about white porcelain. Because
you live in Orlando and you know about Sam. No, sorry.
We have this local guy. Orlando people may remember.
Gosh, you can probably find it on YouTube. Appliance Direct. If you want to kill some time and not really pay a lot of attention.
Look up on YouTube Appliance Direct
commercials on YouTube.
And you'll see what a weird guy that lives in Orlando that has these commercials.
When we lived here and did not have proper cable, it was him like all night long commercials.
But he kept like taking his index finger and his middle
white porcelain,
finger, and he'd
same day delivery.
He'd rub it over a toilet and he goes, white porcelain.
Mm-hmm.
Then he talks about the
then they put a whole cake in their dishwasher.
Yeah, the dishwasher that can eat a cake.
Whacking you know. Yeah.
Hey, but Jasmine, where did we get our refrigerator from?
Appliance Direct. To be fair, we got it twice because the first time it didn't work, and then we got it different. True. We got it from scratch and done though, which is another thing.
New in the box. April says.
Yes, new in the box. Yeah.
Same day delivery.
Same day delivery. I didn't know that was his wife for a while. Weren't they at MegaCon one year, like giving away stuff? Like
I could see that.
I think they had a booth at MegaCon. I could be wrong, but
I remember.
I mean, good on them.
Do you remember making VHS tapes?
Pardon?
For family members?
Yes,
Yes.
I do.
So sadly,
We had family who visited here, like, what are those commercials? Those are hilarious.
it was
We're,
only
just
like
leave
13 years ago, but we had a VCR.
yeah,
we would record these
VCR.
commercials.
Like, here you go.
And then we'd
Here's a
send them back.
souvenir of your
Yeah.
Orlando vacation. Here's Appliance Direct.
That's before YouTube really became a big thing.
And I think some of them were late to the game, but yeah.
Penny Mouse says, love those commercials. I haven't seen them often.
See, it's
I
'cause
rarely
you have,
watch commercials
the
anymore.
YouTube and the Netflix and everything.
Yeah.
The YouTube and the Netflix. It's like
And
the
the
Facebook.
Netflix.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's like the pot,
Oh, the pot.
the YouTube. He's
The
probably not
Facebook.
the pot.
Yeah. The Facebook. The
Oh,
Family
the pot
Guy.
means two different things, yeah.
Oh, well.
He is weird, Ren Girl.
He's
We can't figure him out.
Yeah. He's a local character, isn't he?
Yep. And that one
That's
girl
probably good.
that used to be there, she's not on there anymore.
Isn't that his wife?
I don't know what.
I thought she was his wife.
I don't know what she was.
Oh, she was a lady.
The lady that lived in the dumpster in the back? I don't know.
I thought that was his wife. I could have. Maybe that's an urban legend. I don't want to spread that if it's true. Or not true, rather.
I doubt anyone's watching that would spread such a
I
thing.
don't know. Who else would know? It's going to be people who know me here or something. Anyways, I'm going over some of the darker lines on here where I know the shadows are going to be. Not that I'm going to shade this, but just because I want to make sure I keep that dark. When I do have to scan this in to make the pin, the black part is going to be the part that is, for example, the black part on the mold. So this is all black metal, believe it or not. They make little holes in it, little wells, little pools, and they pour enamel, which is kind of like a paint, and they pour it into the little wheel wells there, and it fills it in. So what I'm doing with this is doing a version of my already existing painting from 2 years ago, version of this character. That's more or less the same. And I'm going to be choosing the colors that are going to go in there. I'm making sure I get the outlines first, but this will be the April pin of the month. I'll definitely be done with her, and I'll show you the finished artwork again. The finished artwork, I'll show you how they end up looking, like a little one like this. This is after it's been scanned into the computer and has been turned into a mold. And then there's the actual metal pin there. So they look quite similar. So what I'm doing now, every time I make a little brush stroke, that will probably be turned into the scanned version on the computer, and then it'll be stamped into a mold, which is very three-dimensional. Some people like the sort of pins that are like cloisonné, that are smooth across the top, which is very lovely also. I go with the dark type with the insides because I think it looks more like my artwork. Depends what sort of artwork you do. If you do watercolors or some oils, it looks lovely to do cloisonné, but I do kind of these ones here, so it's almost like it's like a kind of three-dimensional map. You can see the outlines in each one of the little outlines is filled with a little bit of enamel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of work. So every time I make like a line, I'm like, and I'm trying to keep it again to the original painting, which is based off of the original Vermeer painting. So there's a lot I'm kind of
Jasmine
processing in my head while Matt's talking about Bob Barker. Yeah.
No, Luke's mentioning when people in Belton say the high V.
Oh, the Hy-Vee. I know about the Hy-Vee.
For those of you who don't live in the Midwest, Hy-Vee is a grocery store.
Hy-Vee is a grocery store.
No idea what the hell Hy-Vee means. It means something.
I thought it was your Hy-Vee. Isn't there commercials?
That's my Hy-Vee.
That's my
where
Hy-Vee?
there's a helpful smile on every aisle.
Helpful smile.
And it always says
they're
employee
owned.
owned.
Yeah. Jesus, why do I know this? Oh.
But Jasmine, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee's a good store.
My cousin was a manager there.
But she gave that
But
up.
she quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's the same one that we sent the appliance direct.
That was her
to.
mom, but yes. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, Ariel loved him too.
Yeah, that's very true. Appliance store. Wow, small world, huh?
So it happens
I
when
do
you talk to
not
like 17
know a
people in
lot
real
of
life.
people. Yeah. You spit until the giveaway, love.
We've got 4 minutes.
Oh, golly. And this is for my cardinal girl, yeah? My little bird card. Well, I'm glad I got the line art down because that will give people a good idea of what the pin will look like. And again, I'm going to take the blue that is kind of in her headband here, like that sort of blue. I'm but make it a little bit more saturated and put it with the same white that's here and kind of make that as if it were a Baroque sort of circle. This is kind of based off of a blue willow, but a Delft sort of cup design, porcelain design, since obviously Vermeer was from Delft originally. So that's a good way to end a painting that otherwise comes into a hard rectangle. I have seen, I remember Googling it before I thought about doing a pin of this one. I Googled pins of it, not of mine, but of the Vermeer painting. And it looks like a lot of artists have run into the problem of, hey, it's just her shoulders and up. How do you turn that into a lower right-hand side of the pin when it's a square or a rectangle? So I thought this would be kind of a unique decorative sort of way to do it. That way too, if somebody would have like a blue scarf or a blue outfit, or they just want to keep their pin on a little bag like everybody else does, that's fine too. Oh, I heard a cardinal out there, love.
What's that, monkey?
I heard a cardinal outside. I think it's funny. Who's going?
As soon as the broadcast ends, I'll put the seeds down.
Okay. Yeah, I know. We're an hour off, so it's still a little bit light out. But this was my little baby I just got, and I'll sign her and give her to you.
Some lucky persons.
Yeah, somebody will win her.
Sign her hiney.
I'll sign, how about the base? That sounds good.
Sure. Oh, that's what I meant.
I'll pat it. But I'm going to sign her, and she's low in numbers. Usually they go to about 10,000 or so in these. With the exception of a few that were super popular, because they do it based on time, like 95 casting days instead of a certain amount of numbers. So that's pretty low. 69 in here. So.
Ian says, just want to say well done for getting through the whole broadcast cheerfully. When I'm not feeling good, I really struggle to tolerate people.
Aww.
I'm in awe of how you managed it.
You've done very well, Maddie. Thank you. Otherwise, it would have been me talking to the camera and just...
Honestly, guys, Jasmine gave me that option. I said no.
I did. I said, Maddie, do you just want me to try to wing it and just
honestly, that
yell
almost
at
made me
things
cry because I couldn't imagine it'd be so sad.
Oh, it wouldn't be that. I just wouldn't know if there was a problem. Like if the computer froze up or like the camera... Like how we had to super glue the camera. I wouldn't have known.
You don't even know how
you would have looked at my ceiling fan for 4 hours and heard me mumble on about color shifts and
no problem, guys.
1600
Honestly,
Delft. Yeah,
this is the last of it.
Yeah. No,
if it was yesterday, actually the day before yesterday, I would have not been. I would have begged Jasmine not to do it at all.
Yeah, I would have done it myself. But I, like you were saying though, like your own Patreon, you wanted to record something, but you didn't want it as a recording for people. People are here to watch the painting and the pictures.
Right.
They're not, they like to hear you talk, and that's a big part of it. But if you yourself, Maddie, are doing voice recordings, it doesn't make sense to do it when you have a cold. So if anybody was waiting on anything from Matt,
guys, I can't believe how much love I'm
getting. Tell them about your Patreon. They can hear about your stories when you have your voice proper.
I'll talk about that next time when I have, because I wanted to put some audio up so I could talk about it, but I feel bad that I...
Well, you should copy paste your Patreon link up there so people know where to find you when your voice is back. He has a lot of stuff up there already, but he does his own audio recordings of stories he's written and movie reviews. And when you probably noticed when it's me talking, I talk about boring things like colors and art history from 400 years ago. And when Matt talks, he talks about cool stuff like comic books and movies that are coming out and things like that. And so that's what you'll find at Matt's Patreon. And mine is my own very dry art sort of stuff.
Thank you, Shaylee.
Yeah. Anyway, somebody's won my little cardinal.
Yes, so I'll do that, and then we'll be sure to give Kieran a shout out too.
Oh yes, well do.
Because I got his link here.
I just like how they actually sculpted her hair. I mean, they could have copped out and not done that.
Lisa Isabella Rosso. My gosh, I think
Lisa
she won
Rosso?
last time.
Oh, did she? She won recently, didn't she?
And we saw her like
we did.
Disney.
We saw her at Disney. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lisa.
well, congratulations. Maybe she's got a good luck charm.
Okay,
she's Irish. Okay. But you've got my little cardinal girl. And everybody else, these are now available. I think the first one is on back order because these have been insanely popular. It took me a while to get my own one, which sounds silly, but from the company, because the birdie ones are going off the hook, and apparently everybody's all about birds right now. But these are all based off of birdies that live in my yard. So yeah, and we got one with little mourning doves and bluebirds, and if they do well, we're going to do some more statues that are based off of my other birdies in the yard. I haven't quite gotten it to the point that I could do my kitty cats or something, but maybe pens.
So Tammy has that and loves it. Yeah, Lisa.
Oh, see, people have
Lisa,
it
real quick, didn't you win Didn't you win like 2 weeks ago?
Fairly recently.
It was Alex that won.
Oh. We have
One of you guys
people
won.
in different households, or we also have people of similar last names that are not quite the same. But yeah, I think she won something. Unless it was Patreon.
Oh, that's Tammy's only statue.
Oh, well, that was a good choice. Because she's got a little cardinal.
So, hey everybody.
Also, people from St. Louis like her.
I'm gonna put Kieran's link.
Oh, yes. If you want to see a synopsis of this broadcast and previous broadcasts, check out my friend Kieran in England. He makes kind of highlights clips of my different episodes.
Oh, yeah, she won a mug last week.
Ah, there you go. 2 weeks ago, probably.
There you go, Kieran. Thank you for always doing that for Jasmine.
Yeah.
That's very sweet of you.
Otherwise,
I just saw a girl with a pearl earring just popped up on the Lycha.
Oh, how funny. Oh,
That's
is she
good luck.
like while I was working on her?
Yeah,
like in the...
3 different
Okay.
photos of
So
her.
did I
Wow.
work on her?
I will get better.
Okay.
Mimi, thank you so much.
Oh, yes, Maddie. By next time, our next broadcast will be literally a week from today.
If I don't get better, I'm going to Minute Clinic.
Yeah, well, I will Uber him to Walgreens. I will take care of him. Our next broadcast will be next Sunday from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern time, and I think British time it will be 20 o'clock because you will have had your.
No, it starts at 31st.
Oh, you're not? Okay, it'll still be 19 o'clock, but it'll be noon Pacific time. Okay. And
I only know that because of, British stuff.
Because British stuff. Okay. Well, thank you guys, and
Bye,
thank you
guys.
for watching this with me. You guys have a good evening. We'll see you in a week.
Bye.